Listen on, when me working hard, I feel the legacy. Nothing I get so up with the jealousy. No cranny or hoa, yes, repeat. Big up popcorn, the killy king, lyrical king. Member, me the girl thing, and you working hard, I feel below. And the aim is to take care of me family. See Tennessee, straight out a jar, run no medicine, big man thing, and no petty thing, lyrical king. No, me a the lion king, none of them could have try my thing. I'm in faded there. No, I'm in faded there, what them here, mind them back. The woman faded the lyrical king and lion king. When I'm here, my name them vex. I'm in faded there. The woman faded the lyrical king. Second verse. Listen now. Coffee act like a cat. Anything me see lyrical me never talk. Puppy we see good dog and a back and a laugh me and laugh car. Now we big me man take a wall low key and addicted solo being what else me see. I make a lyrical you the hot heat and your style too different and bigger than this. Tell him. DJ Benny, hold on. Since it's 5 minutes, we can't do much, and our panelists are here, so I want to give one freestyle because I see that our beautiful girls are here. So it says, when I wake up in the morning, baby girl, I swear only you are the thinker. Boy, the love way I get for you, I wish I had a microphone to shout it low. The thing where the boss in my brain, the boss in my mind, it be you cause I'm old. Like run town, Kiki had the craze for your love. Other chamber, me, and I'm in trouble with the amewa. So we here, baby, I catch me in 10 time na meto. And no perrier and no joke. Listen, our lyrical scanse this. Thank you.
Let's give it up for lyrical scanse. All right, that's the way to set the ball rolling. Before the keynote speaker addresses the house, please let's make welcome to the podium the university's church relations officer, Mr. Niama. He's in our midst. All right, Daddy, thank you so much for being here. All right, I know most of you know Prof. Ebenezer Ayesu, but this is what you don't know about him. So please give me your rapt attention. Let me read his profile for you. So Prof. Ebenezer Ayesu is an associate professor of history and the dean of students at Heritage Christian University College. He is also associate professor at Lubbock Christian University, Lubbock in Texas, USA, and a visiting scholar in history and global studies at Abilene Christian University, Texas, USA. Moreover, he was a senior lecturer part-time at the Department of History Education, Basic Education, Winneba. Before then, he was a senior research fellow at the Institute of African Studies of the University of Ghana, Legon. He holds a PhD in history from Indiana University in Bloomington, USA, MPhil in African Studies and BA Honorables from the University of Ghana, Eugene. He has the receipt of the Lilly Award for History at the Indiana University Bloomington in USA and a Fulbright scholar in 2006 to 2008. Prof. Ebenezer Ayesu has presented papers on religion, culture, gender, labor, and African history at conferences in Ghana and abroad. He has published articles in peer-reviewed journals, contributed to book chapters, and edited a book on modern democracy in Ghana and traditional forms of governance. He has produced documentaries on traditional festivals and authored biographies of some great traditional leaders of Ghana. Before then, he was a resource person for the University of California Education Abroad Program and the University Study Abroad Consortium, all based in the University of Ghana in Legon. Prof. Ayesu is a Christian and a fellowship with the Church of Christ as a Parocrom near Insawam Road and is married with children. Without much ado, please let's make welcome my boss, the Dean of the school, Prof. Ebenezer Ayesu.
Thank you, Nuruddin, for telling them most of the things that I keep in my portfolio for posterity to talk about. And thank you, everyone, especially my colleagues on the high table, And all those I use my various tactics to gently bring you here to come and participate in this August program. I will start based on the title. I will start from an orthodox but a very popular happenings in Ghanaian society, especially if you look at popular culture. I know most of you have, in one way or the other, lived around where alcohol is sold, especially the one the Ghana people call ake peteshi. Let's hide, which is apeteshi. That's how the name apeteshi came about. Ake peteshi. I've gone through, when I got a title of what I'm to speak on, I decided to go back to some, if I encountered those scenes, to use it as my preamble for today's presentation. If you go to Akwateshi, areas where the shops are, God is king, don't mind your wife, this and that, which some call blue partition, green partition, and what have you. You are bound to encounter a scene whereby a patron or a client steps into the shop, gets a tot or two of the drink, he squeezes his face, beats his chest, and then at the end of it all says, me ye dachi. I will succeed in life one day. You look at his composure and even the face expression after taking that hot drink. And then you ask yourself, is he serious? Yes, he's serious because by nature we all have aspirations. And it is left to that man to get someone to kickstart, to ignite, to light that aspiration, so that what he said, and which most people laugh off, becomes a reality. And this is how I see today's program. The theme, igniting aspirations and ambitions. That Akwateshi drunkard has an ambition. The ambition to succeed in life one day. How does he succeed? He requires mentoring. He has to be mentored for him to become a future leader. He has to be mentored so that even if he will still take appetition, it will be maybe an appetizer. It will be maybe what Paul said, if you have a stomach ache, you should take. It could be a reflection of what he has been through. So how do we ignite, or why should we ignite aspirations? We get to know of it if we know the meaning, to aspire. And so aspirations and ambitions are the fuel, the petrol, the gas, the whatever that drives individuals to achieve greatness. This is the ambition. But the action to take you to that, you have to aspire, you have to move. And therefore, aspirations sparks that will ignite the journey towards success. The lady was talking about going abroad for your studies, further studies, and other things. How do you start? However, these sparks often need a catalyst to transform into a sustained flame. And this is where mentoring plays a pivotal role. You need to be mentored. All of us, wherever we have reached, we had mentors. Some directly, someone decides that you, I've chosen you, this is what I want you to become in future, and will therefore be ordering you sometimes unpleasantly to that. Other times it's indirect, and other times too is voluntary. You decide, you look at someone and decide that I want to be like A or B or C, and therefore you start observing the person. That mentor, what is he going to do? What is his role? He's not only going to just guiding you, but most often they are trailblazers, torchbearers, illuminating the path for others to follow. Those of us who had the privilege to live in rural communities, and where, if you are so lucky to be in and around Ekwapem, and most importantly, Achim area, when it rains in the night, you go looking for snails. Or still about Achim area, when it rains, you have to go out to see whether some pieces of diamond have been washed off to collect and sell. Gather them and sell. Gather them, see. That's it. So that mentor is going to lead you. It's like you are moving in darkness. You need someone to provide a light that will guide you. Let's take our minds back to the unfortunate incidents of Doomsor. When it happened, those who had Android phones or those privileged to have phones that had torchlight on them, it could be 20, 30, and that person alone will light his or her phone, and then you all follow him. That's what we mean by torch bearer. He's holding a torch to give light for all of you to follow. And what his action does is it illuminates the path for you to follow. Mentors also provide wisdom, share experiences, and offer encouragement. I overheard one of my daughters saying that those siblings, they have reached the stage where you only hear parents saying that if you don't know her, go and ask Aisha. Instead of being spanking those behind, it's used, spanking enough. So she be the one to tell them how it is, how it feels for me to spank you. So they provide that experience, provide them with wisdom. The wisdom gained through life experiences, encounters, engagement with people, with institutions, occasions, ceremonies, and what have you. And these will offer you encouragement. Encouragement in the sense that these people's experiences, it's kind of have been there before. So just follow what I'm telling you and you go there. Mentors also have to help mentees navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and realize their potential. Whoever is to mentor, or the one that you decide to follow, should be the one that will help you navigate through challenges, which means that person might have gone through a number of challenges. Even though I don't have his permission to talk about those students I'm dealing with, I'm not going to mention his name. He's done a number of resets, and after the third one, when he felt that he's going to pass, came to tell me that he couldn't make it, and he's giving up. Do you give up when you are in level 400? When thing you can get is a transcript indicating that you were all, but you couldn't complete. So I told him, failure does not mean you are less good for nothing. And in Ghana, we have a very popular example, my generation that we cite to. And those are celebrating David Dankwa. They will tell David Dankwa took his exams 3 times before he passed. So I told him, have you heard of J.B. Dankwa? So yes, I hear people mentioning his name. I said, what do they say about him? His scholarship, his political engagement, his law practice. And I said, so you never heard that he failed his exams? He said no. Then I said, so he did. That's all we were told. And I read some of his autobiographies, and he indicated ways of saying the same thing. So he says it nicely, and you get that impression that he did not have it easy. So with that kind of challenge, whoever decides to follow him, and there are many of them, especially living, you feel emboldened to go ahead with whatever you want to do. The other option is also that they seize opportunities. They seize opportunities. What are some of these opportunities? The opportunity we are offering you this moment. Come and listen to people who have passed through various stages of life, people who have at least moderately made it. Come and listen to them. In other domain, these people are consultants. And when you hear of consultants, it means you have to pay to listen to them. But here is a situation whereby Heritage, SRC in conjunction with USAC have organized this program. It's an opportunity. Just come and listen. In the course of listening, you are going to see some of the personalities. Some you might have seen on telly. Some you might have read about them in the newspapers. Some you might have heard people mentioning their names. And just like when we were children, whenever they talked about Jerusalem, we thought it was in heaven. So not having come into contact with them, you assume that they are the fables, like Confanochi. So this is an opportunity. The other aspects of opportunity, they come in the wake of something you were not expecting or something you wish for, but how to go there, how to get it, is absent. Then out of the blue, it comes your way. This is where the Christians refer to as faith, or grace, sorry, they refer to as grace. And then you also, the mentor will help you to realize your potential. Realize your potential. We all have something within us which we don't know. We've not recognized, we've not observed, we've not identified it. So someone from afar, and that's why the accounts will tell you, if you are clearing the path, you might not know that your back is crooked. It's someone who is to tell you. So there are so many things we all have potentials to speak at public places, to demonstrate your intelligence, eloquence, and what have you. But you might not know. So at the end of the day, your mentor is going to help you to realize that. The mentor is not going to give you that. It's within you. You have it. And will only help you to realize it. Does it mean that everybody is a mentor? Yes and no. Yes, because at least we all have something to teach others. No, because it's not everything that I as an individual have that will be beneficial to you, that you have to copy. So how would you know that this is a trustworthy person to follow? And therefore I've said key aspects of effective mentoring. If no one is mentoring you, you yourself look up for these features and identify someone as such a person who can mentor you. But with you all being potential mentors, by your, at least your education, higher education, university opens you up for so many aspect skills which will help you lead your life comfortably. So one has to do with building trust. Trust, which is the foundation of any successful mentoring relationship. We usually joke that there are some people, when there's an issue and you have a problem, you go to the person to talk about. We might as best go to P7, because as soon as you disclose whatever you have on your chest, a worry, it will blow all over the world. Trust. Not only that, but someone that when you go to, even if he has to give you his or her time, is ever ready. Resources, give you directions, and sometimes hold your hand to take you to the place. My big daughter had a misfortune of walking to town with her mother, and they stood behind a taxi, and the taxi driver unknowingly reversed, and one of the back tires rolled over her toes. Luckily, no serious damage happened. But after that, for about 5 years, anytime we're going to go out, she would prefer to hold my hands than to hold the hands of her mother. So, it was good. So I told the mother that call her and let her know that it was by accident that the other time you took her out, a taxi ran over her toes. And she did that. The trust, the love and everything was there. But to go with you on the roadside, no, I'll go with my father. Trust. Which is built through consistent, honest, and open communication. Consistent, honest, and open communication. Communication. We know there are so many ways to communicate. The way you dress, the way you shout at people. I was addressing a group of nursing students upstairs not long ago, and I directed one lady, hey. Then I said, oh, I'm sorry for calling you hey. Communication. If I had not done that, and if most of you luckily don't attach any sense of the way we order you about hearing, it's unfortunate. But whoever understands it, hair is like an object, an animal, someone you don't respect, you don't regard. So if I'm going to mentor you, and that trust of respecting you is not there, it's nothing. You must be approachable. And that's one of my biggest challenge. And I remember when I was teaching in US lecture halls, my friend, because of their penchant for pulling guns on whoever they feel uncomfortable with, my first thing to tell them that, look, I know I have a strong face. And people with strong faces are very difficult to approach. But ignore that and feel free to come. I know that is something. It's something I've grown with, and I became proud of it when I overheard my parents one day saying that, you know, our co-tenants were telling us that we should pray our son does not become a military man. Well, a guy doesn't laugh, and when he joins the military, and the military psychology enters his mind. So I said, very good. How good it is for your parents to be afraid of how you've thrown your face. We should be approachable. So I know this is a challenge. So people coming to deal with me might not. They might have genuine concerns. They even have something good to come and tell me or to give to me. But the way I've squeezed my face, which is not my making, this is what God wanted me to be. So I make people aware that, hey, forget about that face. You can't do that. You must be approachable and also willing to listen. Not only to listen, but not to make judgments. Oh, you good for nothing. Don't come and waste my time. And others. And most often, it will not be only the individual who wanting you to mentor, who you'll be addressing to. But because you do it so often to all other people, the person assumes that when he or she approaches you, you are going to do that. So let me stay in my comfort zone. Where the person might not be comfortable, but your face and the way you throw people off makes whatever situation you find yourself much comfortable to who you are. There should also be guidance. Guidance. And this is one of the things that we find most people not accepting. Instead of giving direct solutions, mentors should empower their mentees to find answers themselves. You walk to the dean of students' office feeling hungry, and you go put up the best of miserable faces that you can compose. You talk and talk and talk and talk. And at the end of the day, he tells you that, you know, climbing those steps, Heritage pays students to do janitorial work. So why don't you go and register? Or I will take you to the place to register you. He or she steps out. I thought you were going to give me money to go and buy food or something, snacks or whatever, and you are doing this. So most often, some people they only want the person who readily give you something. And in that case, they don't teach you how to find solutions to your problems. But a mentor who would give you direction, who help you to find answers for yourself, who will be critical so that you nurture critical thinking and problem-solving skills, which is essential for leadership. You have to think critically. So what do I do? I've seen a number of students going around selling, doing a kind of petty trading. And I commend them. Why? Because they have a need. And they've realized that whereas their need is to get money, there are other people whose needs includes getting something right at the moment when they feel like. So the hawk. I've seen some selling kebab, some on the veranda there, I've seen someone putting up a table. Why that? They have a problem and they have identified a way to solve that problem. Having money readily available so that if there's a need for you to go to the library to print a material, you have that money. You don't have to wait to tell your parents to send you money or to just ignore the need for that reading material. So you need to do that. The mentor should also provide constructive feedback. Or if you are looking for a mentor, look out for someone who gives constructive feedback. And this feedback should be aimed at growth. It should highlight strengths and identify areas for improvement, always with the intention of encouraging development. As one of the skills I learned in training college after my Form 5 and 1 year stay at home, I went to the Presbyterian Training College, to reluctantly become a teacher, which most of us do. And one thing in our psychology class we were taught was, even when the student had obtained A in the comment section, add, but there is more room for improvement. After A, which room again? The rationale is that you don't become swollen-headed with the A. The teacher will not tell you. So if you are to ask the teacher after A, what again? He has nothing. It's only when you go to the university that they have A+. But in the basic schools, it is A is A, but the teacher says there is more room for what? Improvement. You direct the person to areas of improvement. And the intent of that is to encourage development. There are so many angles, scenarios, features of development. But in definition, just, I would term it as moving a step ahead of where you are, what you have attained. The mentor should also share experiences. And this is where sometimes we tend to make fun of our parents. Yes, they exaggerate. Every parent, when she or he was in school, was the best pupil. But find a way and look for their terminal reports, and you'll be shocked. I'm the only person who tells my children that I failed in all my maths exams, and if tomorrow there's a maths exam, I'll fail again. I don't hide it. Share experiences. Personal stories and experiences can provide invaluable lessons. So I've given you one already, my introduction. When you are passing by a green partition, blue partition, or God is king and what have you, at a shop, and the people, someone is stepping out, observe. And by that, you realize what the truism of the fact that every human being has something within him or her that tells him or her that you'll be great in future. That's at least one example. Sharing personal stories, the good and the bad. But one thing we should know, that when you are narrating the bad, you should be very careful that it does not become a deterrent to the person. So yes, you're going to talk about the bad one experiences that you have, but quickly let the person know how you overcome that bad experience. It could be people you move with. Ghana Secondary School Form 5, 1977, the chorus was that, me, I'm not coming back to this school for 6-4. Because we had a pastor, a headmaster, Reverend Nyakon, he's dead, may his soul rest in peace. He tolerated nonsense. He did not tolerate nonsense. So slightest, you go on suspension. Slightest, weak, you weak. And when he's put the test, especially on Fridays, he slaps you. We don't know what was on him, but Fridays, he started with students. Then he got to a situation where masters, if you go and ask him, he gives an instruction and you ask a question, slap. And whenever he slapped, the students were so happy because when he slapped the master, were happy because when he started with students, they were. So that made a lot of us decide that we would not go to sixth form at that school. We did our exams. I chose Nabrongo Secondary School because at the time my father was working at Boku and then brought to Wa. There was also a very important thing at Nabrongo Secondary School that I admire. In those days, students were given free corduroy trousers. You know corduroy? In our days, it competed with jeans, and it looks like jeans as overcome. It's now topping. I put on corduroy trousers this morning when I was coming to the office. It's in my office there. That alone was an attraction. I want to go to that school. 1, avoid Reverend Nyakon. 2, wear that. Results came. That year, the cutoff point for boys was 22 and girls 23. And I had 23. Those of my mates who ignored all that Reverend Nyakon was doing to us and chose Ghanaians for their system, even 25 were given admission at Ghanaians. I went to Nabrongo, waited. The headmaster comes to Accra to pick the forms, start posting those from Southern Ghana before he gets up. I was there for 3 nights. And when the final list was published on the notice board, I went there and my name was not on it. And at the end of the day, I had to stay at home for 1 year. And then my father was transferred to Nsam, and I realized that I was going to stay home another 1 year. By that time, those who were in Form 3, when I was in Form 5, would become my mates. And that's how I went to training college. What are the lessons thereof? Joining the chorus, the danger of peer pressure. We are all going. This morning I was telling my son that apparently those who were very vocal, strong in that thing, ended up choosing Ghanaians. Unknowingly, secretly they have chosen Ghanaians. So at the end of the day, they went to 6-4. So peer pressure. So I tell this challenge. That's it. So what happened? I went to training college and realized that you could still be there and write your A levels. And it's not easy actually. My grand aunt gave me the money to register for the A levels, which I spent. I didn't register. So I came out and I didn't want to disappoint her. She's been my eternal. She's there, but she's still my mentor. Everything that she took me through, I've taken it, and I still see her as my mentor. So how do I end up if I don't? This retired teacher, her money taking me to secondary school, and then giving me money to register for A-level and AFCHO. So I had to privately By that time, I was working, I was earning salary to take the A-level. So yes, the lesson thereof, the experience is that when I joined my peers to decide not to go to Ghana's and I failed, I realized that there was a need for me to get up. And I had a mentor who propelled me up. So that is it. The stories are many. If your mentor tells you a story of defeat, of failure, of disappointment, you should ask the person, how did you overcome this? Some become emotional when they get to that point and might decide. You could even decide that, don't let me prove further. On the other hand, if you ask the person and the person wave you aside, find another time because it is very important. In spite of that failure or that fall, the person has moved up. And one thing that is very important and related to the lady who spoke about immigration and others has to do with learning. Every mentor should encourage the mentee to continuously learn. And that's one of the lessons from the teacher's comment. There is more room for improvement. The pursuit of knowledge should never cease. Mentors should inspire their mentees to seek new learning opportunities, be it through formal education, professional training, or personal development. I forgot to tell whoever the organizers that I'm a long talker. I talk a lot. I can talk for 3 months without stopping. So maybe I have to go for talkadon and see whether I can get the Guinness World Record. So they tell me it's 5 minutes. I'll try to make it. How do you develop that qualities? All of us are at the stage where we can or we are potential mentors. How do we develop? Visionary thinking ahead. Encouraging mentees to think big, dream boldly, and envision the future they want to create. That's why some employments, when you go to interview or you fill the form, university, when you are going to do your master's and PhD, they ask you, in the next 5 years, what do you think or what do you want to become? Either in your academic pursuit or professional. If you want to go to graduate school, it is one of the questions that you have to answer. And most often we find it difficult to indicate, but that is that. You should also have emotional intelligence, developing self-awareness, empathy, and interpersonal skills that are crucial for effective leadership. Interpersonal. So sometimes I shout at some of you, sometimes I try to pamper you, and sometimes I mix the two. That is how it has to be. And there should be resilience. The importance of resilience and the ability to bounce back from setbacks. You don't give up. The others will say you should persevere when we go to the Bible. And this is auditorium where we do chapel. So if I use the Bible term, perseverance, it is very, very important. Very, very important. Ethical integrity. Ethics. Instilling strong ethical values and integrity, which are the cornerstones of trustworthy leadership. And I think the best way to understand it is this. Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. You'll be ethical. If you want to be slapped, as soon as you enter the gate from there, then you can go ahead and be slapping people. But the accounts will tell you that if you go to the public place with your thumb raised, you receive what? Slaps. So that is it. There is this one word, one thing that even if my 5 minutes is up, I will still beg to be given time. Collaboration and teamwork. I hope the nursing students will bear me out. I've repeatedly been telling them that they should form study groups. Why? Because the topics, themes, and whatever they are taking in their course, so many. And so when you have a study group, you take this topic, I take the other, the next person takes the other. We all go and prepare, and we meet and discuss together, working in teams. It helps. It's very, very important. Yesterday, I went around asking some of you if you have done so. And I told those who have done it that I wish them God's blessings. And those who have not done it, I say here that I pray to God that you do it, because it's very important. It marks the beginning of learning how to work in a team. It's very important. And the last one is the ripple effect of mentoring. Impact of mentoring goes beyond the individual. When we mentor future leaders, we create a ripple effect that influences communities, organizations, and even societies. These leaders go on to inspire and mentor others, perpetuating a cycle of growth and development. Finally, and so what? All that I've said, and so what? Yes, I'm calling you to action. I urge each one of you to take up the mantle of mentorship. So you prepare yourself, you learn from someone, and then you decide to be a mentor. These days they use another term, coaching. Whether you are an experienced leader or just starting your journey, there is always someone who can benefit from your knowledge and experience. By mentoring, you contribute to build a better and brighter future. So finally, together, let us ignite aspirations and ambitions and pave the way for a new generation of visionary leaders. God bless you all.
Let's make the applause louder for Prof. Awesome. I have here a souvenir to give to any of you, and I would want to ask, what is one of the key roles of effective mentoring? Anyone to just give me any of the points from Prof's presentation? $1 million, okay. You think I can give you $1 million? What did Prof say?
He said a mentor is someone who is trustworthy. So if you are a mentor, you have to be trustworthy and honest with your mentee.
This is for you. Can we give her a round of applause? I love the fact that you are not only just listening, but you are paying critical attention to all our keynote speakers. But before that, I want to, make the presence of some executives that are among our midst be known to all of you. We have here Mr. Emmanuel Amegavi Sosu, who is the GRA SAC president for Christian Service University Kumasi, and is also an aspirant for the NUC's International Relations Secretary. Please, if you're here, can you give us a wave? Awesome, awesome. We also have Jennifer Okai, who is the former SRC president for Methodist College of Education, and she's also an aspirant for the NUC's Secretary for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Skills Development. Jennifer? All right. I would be doing more when I get the list of dignitaries that are among us. Now to the only lady and woman among the panelists is Dr. Letitia Adelaide. But as far as I know, most of you do not also know her. So please let me take this moment to read her profile so that we get familiar with her. Dr. Letitia Adelaide Appiah, a physician and senior public health specialist, is the immediate past executive director of the National Population Council of Ghana. Before assuming that role, Dr. Appiah was the Director of Health Services for Lejekuku-Krowo Municipality of Ghana since its inception in 2008. Dr. Letitia Appiah has a passion for population and reproductive health with particular emphasis on family planning, HIV, and nutrition. Prior to her assumption as Municipal Director of Health Services at LECMA, she worked as a medical doctor and a public health specialist in various public health institutions, training clients and training the next generation of health professionals. Dr. Letitia Appiah is a product of Donetsk Medical School in Ukraine with an MD degree. She also holds a master's degree in public health from the University of Ghana, a Humphrey Fellow and alumnus of Emory University in Atlanta. Dr. Letitia Appiah has won several awards, and her municipality was adjudged the best performing health directorate in 2010 in Greater Accra region among 16 directorates in 2017 as well. She was ranked among top 60 corporate women leaders in Ghana by the African Work of Entrepreneurs. On 20th March 2018, she was ranked among the 50 women in business and governance by the Center of Economics and Leadership Development in conjunction with the Amazon's Watch magazine at the African Women Forum. Her leadership philosophy is striving for self-improvement and helping others do same, which she sees as a responsibility to inspire others to do their best. With a resounding round of applause, please let's make welcome Dr. Letitia Appiah.
Thank you, MC, for the introduction. Prof. Ebenezer Yensu, Dean of Students, Heritage Christian University College, Dr. Deoti Boasari, author of the book 100 Ghanaians of Noble Disposition, SRC President, students, friends of the media. I am honored to be invited to speak at this National Youth Mentorship Initiative, an honor I very much cherish because the future of any nation hinges on the investments in its youth. No wonder Deuteronomy 6, Moses gives instructions to families on the importance of training. He stresses that failing to train our children to follow God and build firm families on the solid ground can lead to the downfall of nations. Following from the admonition from the Bible to our lives, the youth are a pivot around which societies evolve, and so it is in our interest to nurture and mentor them. They have the unique privilege of seeing the old generation off, whilst at the same time ushering in the new generation. Thus, they are custodians of culture, health, education, and all you can think about. It is therefore important that we help them to discover themselves, to find fulfillment, and make impact in the future, despite the uncertain present situation we all find ourselves in. I am therefore honored to share insights on goal setting, networking, and leadership, which resonates with the overarching goal of igniting ambitions and aspirations, mentoring future generations of leaders. I will start with two stories from the Bible because it's a Christian Heritage University. So I will start with two stories from the Bible to demonstrate the power of goal setting, linking to mentorship as a journey, as our previous speaker said, of self-discovery, empowerment, and impact. The first is in Luke 15:11-32, which narrates a story about the prodigal son who asks his father for his inheritance, then leaves home and wastes his money on a sinful life. He becomes poor and hungry and decides to return to his father and ask for mercy. The second is found in Matthew or John 2:13-22, where Jesus, on entering the temple, found people selling cattle, sheep, and pigeons in the courtyard. He also found money changers. So he got angry and threw everyone away with their sheep and cattle out of the temple courtyard. I know you are familiar with these stories. Yes or no? Good. These two stories for me demonstrates that one needs to know one's desired destination and use it to motivate change. You always need to act with purpose. The prodigal son, his aim was to be rich and enjoy life. And enjoy the life that he wished for. But his choices brought him poverty, which is a hindrance to prosperity. He didn't stay there and lament. He got up and went to where his needs would be met, since that was his desired destination. So it is important that you know your goal, the desired destination. In the second story, Jesus knew his father's house was a house of worship, not a marketplace. And that motivated him to take the action he took. That also fitted his desired motivation. This shows that goal setting and achieving it can be daunting, but not impossible. First, for you to be successful at setting goal and achieving your aim, you need to identify what ignites your soul and align with your professional pursuit. It is so important that you identify what ignites your soul and align with your professional pursuits. Second, you need to make a firm decision that you are not going to settle where you are right now. You need to make that firm decision that you are not going to settle for where you are right now. Third, you need to get angry. You need to get determined. You need to be passionate. Then you are going to make it happen. If you are not angry enough, righteous indignation, if you are not determined and you are not passionate, I'm sorry, it may not happen. In the process, you need to develop as much clarity as you can about where you want to end up or what you want to be doing and who would help you achieve your goal. It is not everybody who would help you achieve your goal. So you need clarity. Get passionate, get determined, get angry, and then get the people who would help you. Setting goal is so important because it gives you long-term vision and short-term motivation. If you do not set your goal, it makes it the journey becomes difficult. So when you set your goal, it focuses your acquisition of knowledge. If you have set your goal to be a good musician, then you focus your knowledge on that and not waste your energies on something else. So it focuses your acquisition of knowledge and helps you organize your time and your resources so you are efficient. You know, time is the most perishable of all goods because time lost can never be reclaimed. And 24 hours for all of us. And our life expectancy is this long. So you have to cherish your time, and you can only do that when you focus your acquisition of knowledge on the goal you have set, so you are efficient. Life is about efficiency. You can do everything, but it's not everything that is useful. So it's about efficiency. Goal setting helps you to push forward. It holds you accountable. It acts as a measuring stick. It informs your action. It helps you identify and set your priorities. It indeed communicates meaning and boosts your morale. So the goals you have set would communicate to me the meaning of your life, and will also boost your morale. So if you want to have a fulfilled life and be impactful, that is the goals you have to set. Your goal should be both fulfilling and impactful, because life is about interdependence. So even as you have a fulfilled life, it should be impactful. A life well lived is a life that is impactful and must align with your values and interests. It is important that your goals are fulfilling and impactful, and also aligning with your values and interests, because the storms will come. If your goals do not align with your values and interests, when the storms come, it will be difficult for you to stand. So aligning your career with your passion is about thriving, not just surviving. You can have a good job that will give you money. If money, I heard a lot of you talk about money, scholarship and all that, but then you realize from the last story she gave us that there's more fulfillment beyond money. So align your career with your passion so that you do not just survive, but you thrive. And like I said, you have to be passionate about your goal. Remember, passion is not just about what you enjoy, but what you excel at. You may enjoy something, but excel at another. And for me, what you excel at is really your soul telling you where you should be going. To start this transformative process, acknowledge your achievements. Seek supportive voices. Not just any voice, seek supportive voices. You know, even in the Bible, when Christ wanted to pray, he selects people. He does not just bring everybody. So you have to be selective. You have to seek supportive voices, not voices that will draw you back. So some of the supportive voices are mentors that agree to partner you in a reciprocal learning relationship. As the previous speaker said, learning is life. Life is about learning and growth, and it's reciprocal. Until you die, you keep learning. And so mentor-mentee relationship are reciprocal learning relationships. The purpose of mentoring, for repeating what the previous speaker said, the purpose of mentoring is to facilitate the personal and professional growth of individuals by providing guidance, support, and knowledge transfer from an experienced mentor. Now I hear a lot the young people say the old should give way and let the young take over. And I'm thinking that you take over is good, but there should be that transition. There should be mentoring so that you do not make the mistakes that the old have made. Otherwise, every generation will learn from their own mistakes, whilst other generations are transferring knowledge from older to younger generations, and we will, of course, be left behind if we do not appreciate the importance of mentorship from an experienced mentor. So mentorship is basically overcoming obstacles with guidance, and also reassuring you that you are not alone facing certain challenges. There are certain obstacles that you may not know that probably I have overcome, and so helping you to overcome those obstacles so you do not have to go through them is all mentorship is about, and guiding you that if you take this path, it will lead you to where you do not want to. but take this other path. Because probably me or my colleagues or some people who I know have taken this path and it has not been good. So you cannot just wish the old away. You have to tap into them. Trust and open communication are the bedrock of successful mentor-mentee relationships, enabling candid feedback and impactful guidance. If I tell you that where you are heading towards, you can get nowhere but in a ditch, that is candid from where I sit, and you should be humble enough to listen. Mentorship is a pivotal force in identifying personal strengths and aligning them with career aspirations, leading to sustained professional growth. While in-person mentorship programs have many advantages, virtual mentoring leverages technology to offer flexibility and accessibility, expanding networking opportunities. Now, when you attend a lot of programs, you see people on their phones. You don't know whether they are writing notes from what you are saying, or you are not making too much sense, and so they are watching something else you do not know, which I hope is not happening here. So virtual mentoring leverages on technology to offer flexibility, accessibility, and expanding networking opportunities. And then maintaining engagements across distances. So you can be here and have a mentor somewhere else. Why not? Action-oriented mentorship, which involves setting priorities, reflecting on our career ambitions, and taking steps towards achieving set milestones, are so crucial. The most important thing is to set your goal. Your organizers contacted me barely a week ago, and so I knew I was coming here. So the goal was to be here today. So you set your goal, and I was coming to meet young people. You set your goal, then you can take the steps to come. Though mentorship is important, I wish to ask you the following questions regarding the two Bible stories. Who were their mentors? Write them down. How did they know what to do when they did it? We'll answer these questions later. And now, on the topic of leadership. Leadership, what is leadership? Leadership is the ability to get things done through people. It starts with some important attributes, such as vision, calmness or serenity. Are you listening to me? Yes. So vision, calmness or serenity, courage and wisdom. These are found in the Serenity Prayer. How many of you know the Serenity Prayer? How many of you know? From today, I would want you to adapt the Serenity Prayer, and I would say it. The Serenity Prayer states, and I quote, God grants me, somebody saying it, grants me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So God grants me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. That is the Serenity Prayer. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to use knowledge and insights to think and act using judgment, common sense, and prudence. That is wisdom. So wisdom seeks to ask the right questions and continuously seek to learn and grow. For example, we all know that children are priceless gifts from God. Is that not so? But prudence and common sense shows that when societies or families or individuals are indifferent to teenage pregnancies, they are poorer than those countries or families or communities that do not encourage teenage pregnancies and has programs and policies to address them. So yes, children are a gift from God, but the Bible also talks about times and seasons. And so if we do not obey timing, and we will look on to let our girls become pregnant when they are supposed to be in school, then poverty and hardship will surely be our lot. Courage, now on the next value of courage. Courage is really not the absence of fear. There's nobody in this world who does not fear. Everybody fears. It is being scared of something, but doing it anyway. It involves making good choices in the face of fear or obstacles. It does not mean fearlessness. It means do not let fear hold us back from exploring new opportunities, developing our skills, and doing what is right. No wonder the Bible says, fear not, for I am with you. Because everybody is afraid of something. But courage means know what is right and go on with it. Now to the next attribute, serenity. Serenity is a state of mental calm and clarity, where you feel at peace in the present moment and able to focus on what matters. I'm a Catholic, and we always say the peace, ultimate peace, is what we all seek. And serenity is peace, calmness of mind, because you can only have clarity when you are calm. You cannot have clarity when you are anxious. Serenity or calmness is when you embrace inner peace. Inner peace or relaxation is key to success because you are in tune with reality and helps avoid an impulse or knee-jerk response. So serenity is one of the cardinal qualities of good leaders. I really would want you to pick this. Serenity, wisdom, courage. You can only be courageous when you are calm. Have you seen a very jittery person being courageous before? No. So serenity, courage, and wisdom, plus vision, then you'll be a potent force to reckon with. With these three attributes of calmness, courage, and wisdom, you can initiate the process of social influence. That is when people will follow you, which would maximize the effort of others towards an achieved goal. Then you can give direction, you can align your steps, and then stay committed. It is a social process where individuals work together to produce results that could never be achieved alone. That is what it is. But then you need a leader who is calm, who is courageous, and who is wise to lead that charge. In summary, for you to ignite your passion and aspirations, which is in line with our theme, you need to have goals that are both fulfilling and impactful. Think beyond yourselves all the time. You need to know your desired destination and use that to motivate change. I'm sure if I hadn't been here today, I would have been somewhere else. But my desired goal was to be here this morning, and that informed the steps I took. On this journey, you need mentors to help you overcome obstacles whilst giving you guidance and reassurance that it shall be well. Now to conclude, we haven't answered our questions. So now to conclude, I wish to provoke you with a story by Colin Guthrie, an author and an executive provocative coach and mentor. That is how he calls himself. He said to a group of people he was coaching, like I'll be saying to you now, he said, and I quote, he said, and I quote, if you were really talented, you wouldn't need to be here. And you wouldn't need us also. This is how he opened the first event of a group of a company's brightest and best, joining his top talent development program. To say that his colleagues on the organizing team, like us here, were shocked was an understatement, not to mention the discomfort it gave to the audience. Of course, that was not what they were expecting from someone who they were paying to coach them. His principle truly resonates with me because really talented people are extremely good at developing themselves. Focused on their goal, talented people are highly motivated, have a good sense of what they need to acquire by way of knowledge and skill, and then they go find it. They don't wait for the next slot on the Youth Mentorship Initiative or any leadership development program. Instead, they will comb the internet, dive into books like the one our author here has authored, and the one I have also authored. I've also authored a book. And find the courses they need when they need them. They are extremely good at learning by doing. That is what, in my opinion, the Bible stories instruct us. The prodigal son just came to his realization that no, without any prompting, that I need to get this. Jesus also, getting into the temple, just realized that this is not right because he had learned his father's way by himself. Of course, you are all talented. This unique program is a great opportunity, but learn beyond this program. The role of the organizers today is simply to try and help ignite your passion and share the principles to accelerate progress. Yours is to get angry with the statement I have made, and also with where you find yourself, get passionate and act purposefully. Talented people, of course, sometimes need a little helping hand to get moving. This is what the organizers are doing for you, because once talent has been ignited, progress is continuous and exponential. I thank you for your attention.
Let's make it louder for Dr. Letitia Adelaide up here. Wow. So much to grasp from her presentation. And so the next trail of giveaway, she made mention of 2 stories from the Bible, right? Okay. Can you give me one? I think, okay, yes.
Parable of the prodigal son.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. You're paying attention, just so we know. Now, we have our third panelist as well to raise the stage. But before that, let me acknowledge the presence of the fellow that we have here. So we have the Nooks aspirant for International Relations Secretary, Frimpong Enoch Feg. Please give us a wave. Awesome. And we also have the USAC President aspirant, Doris Asumandecha, as well here. All right. Before I introduce the third panelist to talk, I would like to invite the project lead for USAC, Kelvin Kin Dawe, to address the
Thank you so much. Please, let's put our hands together for our speakers once again. I want to say a big thank you to our speakers for this amazing work done, and also to my boss, Dr. D. Otibuasare. Please put your hands together for him. He is the brain behind all that is happening in terms of the National Youth Mentorship Initiative. and the author of the book 100 Ghanaians of Noble Disposition. And I'm sure some students will get some free copies today. If you are happy, put your hands together. All right, so I'm just here to talk briefly about the National Youth Mentorship Initiative, right? So we are all welcome to the National Youth Mentorship Initiative Heritage Edition. This program is a groundbreaking program dedicated to empowering the next generation of leaders to shape their world and have a lasting legacy. And also, as Nelson Mandela said, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. We all believe that by providing guidance, support, and mentorship, we can unlock the full potential of our youth and the young people in this country. So the purpose of this book, which is, we have so many successful people, in fact, 100 successful business people from diverse fields, all chronicled in this book, to be a guide for our youth. So as we go around with this youth mentorship initiative, our desire is that we'll be able to have some impact on the youth who are the generation or the future leaders of tomorrow. Our goal is to create a ripple effect of positive change, empowering young leaders to tackle the challenges of today and tomorrow with confidence, resilience, and determination. Through this initiative, we aim to, one, pair young individuals with experienced mentors, which I think is very crucial in this age and in this time, who will offer invaluable insight, wisdom, and encouragement to these mentees. Two, to provide a platform for skill building, networking, and collaboration. Three, to foster a community of like-minded individuals who will share a passion for growth, learning, and impact. As the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, this statement is so true. The future belongs to only those who believe in their dreams. So I charge you today to believe in the dream that you carry and to know that you will execute it at all costs. We believe in this potential of our young people to create a brighter and a more equitable world for all. This quote was by Eleanor Roosevelt. Join us on this exciting journey as we shape the next generation of leaders and empower them to leave their mark in their world. There are these two quotes I want to leave with you. The first from Abraham Lincoln said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it. The best way to predict the future is to create it." So create your future, create your tomorrow. The second is from John C. Maxwell. He said, "Leadership is not about titles, it's not about positions, it is even not about the flow chart of organization. It is about one influencing another." So let our lives make impact on other people. When we do this, we will be in everything we do. So as these people, successful people in their fields, going around various institutions to make sure that they share something with us that can carry us to a brighter future, I believe that we will learn from them, work with them, we would have a relationship with them so we could build a brighter connection even for tomorrow. God bless you so much for being here, and I believe that by the time our speakers are done, you'll receive a lot of information that can transform your life. Once again, God bless you, and let's put our hands together for our speakers.
Now to the famous man Kelvin just also hinted us on. He is Dr. D. Otibu Asari, a highly respected author, journalist, and servant of God. Known for his nature, humility, and unwavering integrity, he has made significant contributions in the field of media consulting and publishing. He pursued a diploma course in journalism at the Ghana Institute of Journalism. He began his career in Nigeria working as a reporter and correspondent for various publications, including the Weekly Focus and Business Digest magazine. In 1990, he established the ECOWAS International magazine, which later transformed into West Africa International magazine. Currently, Dr. Otibu Asari serves as the publisher and editor-in-chief of West African International and the New Ghanaian magazine. He is also known for founding the Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Africa Leadership Annual Conference and Awards. He pursued theological studies at Faith Theological Seminary, earning a Master of Arts and a Doctor of Philosophy in Theology. He is ordained as a minister of the gospel by the renowned Redeemed Christian Church of God and has received additional ordination from the New Horizon Ministries and New Zeal Ministries. Furthermore, Dr. Otibu Asari founded the Church of Zion and the West African Noble Forum, a prominent think tank of distinguished West Africans. He has attended numerous international conferences, trade missions, and preaching engagements, showcasing the extensive knowledge and expertise. Dr. Otibu Asari is married and blessed with 3 children. Ladies and gentlemen, with resounding round of applause, please let's make welcome Dr. Otibu Asari.
Dear Prof, SRC presidents and members here present, USAC president and members, distinguished students, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege and a unique opportunity for me to address you this morning. As future leaders, we put great premium on you as men and women that will make our great nation greater in the years to come. We cherish the efforts you are making to educate yourselves under the present clumsy environment and excruciating conditions we all found ourselves. In these times and season, when there seems to be confusion and frustration on the surface of the earth, there is the need for you as students to tread cautiously in your ways and attitudes. The pulpit is taller than me. That's why I'm having a problem. In these times and seasons, where there seems to be confusion and frustration in the surface of this earth, there is need for you as students to tread cautiously in your ways and attitudes. Has degenerated into complete precipice. We are in a dreadful era of moral contamination and compromise. Everything seems to have fallen apart, leaving many people in a state of hopelessness. Today, when you go to most of the schools, because of the conditions that they are facing, I'm talking about economic conditions, they are living in a state of hopelessness as to how to fend, pay their school fees, and meet their urgent needs. But in the midst of this quagmire, there are still a handful of Ghanaians like us who believe that moral regeneration is the key to the eradication of the ills bedeviling our society today. We have decided, as a matter of principle, to conduct our private and public lives with dignity and honor. And as students, you need to do the same. We have a book, The 100 Ghanaians of Noble Disposition, where we have packaged distinguished men and women of honor and integrity. These personalities in the book, I have dubbed them moral giants. They have continued to stay tall and stand tall on their grounds to be counted. Their attitude and exceptional qualities have distinguished them above their peers. These personalities are trustworthy in their responsibilities, and you can hardly find any area of compromise in their lives. As students, people should be able to count on you. You should take personal responsibility for your life, because at the heart of integrity is the ability to own up to your responsibilities. You should be responsible for both your successes and your failures. Prof spoke about integrity, and my presentation is all going to be about integrity, because integrity is very key to a student. Integrity, as you know, is a value that all of you should strive for in all areas of your lives. The first step towards integrity is being honest with yourself. Say what you mean, and don't just walk the walk. You must talk the talk. Don't take credit for others' successes. You must be transparent and make your deals as transparent as possible. If you are caught in something that prevents you from making completely honest decisions, get out of it. A student of integrity prizes his character above monetary security. Keep your promises. Always follow through the things you have said you will do. as a man's word is his bond. Again, decide now what you will and will not compromise on. Then, when faced with ethical choices, the decisions will have already been made. You don't wait till the temptation comes and then you begin to behave as if you are eating hot yam. You have to be principled and know what to do or what to say at the appropriate time. Take note, when you choose to live with integrity, all of your relationships will be healthier, stronger, and more satisfying, and you will excel in all that you do. The Bible preaches or teaches integrity, and when you follow these principles, you will succeed in your life's journey. Remember, living with integrity is easier than living a dishonest life. Integrity brings wholesomeness and peace, and your conscience can always be at peace as you can look at yourselves in the mirror with pride. As I said earlier, the 100 Ghanaians of Noble Disposition book captured men and women of integrity and honor who could be emulated, and I advise you to get copies of that book. They could be trusted to do the right thing no matter what, where, and when. Their integrity does not waver, whether the test they are going through is adversity, prosperity, weakness, or poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are all well aware, living with integrity is not always easy. But when it marks a person, it makes his life a striking envy of his or her contemporaries. No matter the storm, the heat, the sound, the man or woman of integrity will always live as he or she has always lived. Today, every youth is in a hurry to prosper against all odds. While it is good to aspire to prosper, you must take note of the times and seasons we live in. My dear student, we are here to ignite your ambitions and aspirations on your journey through life. We have identified some Ghanaians that need to be celebrated in the hope that their honest lives and accountability could be replicated and emulated by you, since this will enhance your ethical behavior. It is my hope that the exemplary profiles of the personalities in the book will be a source of inspiration to you who want your efforts to be clothed in nobility and honor. I want to encourage you to live lives that will bring honor not only to you, but to your parents. Any crooked or dishonest life in your journey through life will not bring you success. We have a lot of examples that we can lay our hands on. When we were in school, there are some students who were ruffians. See them put maybe white handkerchief at their collar When people are studying, you see them outside. Some of them go to school to chase women. Some go to drink alcohol. They live careless lives. You may not notice it now, but when you leave school, you will meet your mates. Maybe you are working with a brother or a parent or whatever. Say, that was my classmate. When we were in school, he didn't attend classes. When we were in school, sometimes he goes out to engage in unholy life. And when you see their life at the end of the day, they are not the engineers, they are not the lawyers, they are not the doctors. I remember in school, when I was at St. Paul's Secondary School, they knew an incident happened. You know, the school is very close to the border. So sometimes we sneaked out and crossed over to the border to drink alcohol. And also, it was a boys' school. So we engage in all manner of things. And as a student in that school, a friend advised me to, he said that there is a way of posting letters. That if you don't have money to buy stamp, if somebody sends or writes a letter to you, you can cancel the address and then write try and then put another address and post the letter. A lot of students were doing that successfully, but when I decided to do it, I was caught. I was caned before the whole school, like a hall like this. I was invited to the front and was caned before the whole school. And that changed my life. I became a serious Christian, and since then, my watchword or my hallmark has been integrity. And it has helped me all through my life. So I want to encourage you to be honest. I want to encourage you to be straightforward. I want to encourage you to be accountable to yourself and to your fellow students. I want to encourage you to be forthright. Because integrity, when it marks you, you are in for success. Thank you.
Let's make it louder for Daddy. Let's do it. Awesome. So the man most of you are patiently waiting for is finally here with us. And before he mounts the podium to talk, I would like to read a little bit of him so that we can all get familiarity with him. All right. Mr. Ajite Anand is a renowned actor known for his discipline, dedication, and professionalism. His acting career began in the 90s, which spanned almost 3 decades. Within this period, he has made an immense contribution to the transformation and development of the movie industry in Ghana and beyond, especially in the area of mentoring upcoming artists. He is a multiple award-winning film and stage actor, and his awards includes, but not limited to, the Best Actor in the Lead Role in Africa Magic Viewer Choice Awards in 2018, He has also won the 2015, 2016, and 2018 Best Actor in the Lead Role in the Ghana Movie Awards. He has also won the 2022 Best Supporting Actor in the Africa Movie Academy Awards, the Outstanding Actor 2023 in Ghana Film and Television Crew Awards, and Actor of the Year, EMY Exclusive Man of the Year African Awards 2021 and 2022. Mr. Ajeti Annan is a family man, a lecturer at the National Film and Television Institute, and also the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees Influencer, Ambassador for Anti-Child Labor and Anti-Child Trafficking with SNV Netherlands Development Organization, a member of the board of the National Theatre, and a Global Peace Ambassador. He's also a brand influencer who has worked with a lot of brands in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, with the loudest cheer and applause, Mr. Ajeti Annan.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you all. All laid down protocols humbly observed. Fellow students, it's always a privilege, it's always a humbling to have the opportunity to share some of my journey with you, and also not just for you to learn a few things, but also for me to also continually keep myself on my toes, because you never graduate until you give your last breath on this earth. Well, I'm particularly excited to know that we align, or I align so much with my previous personalities on the value of integrity. I also strongly believe that personal growth, or in these days to say branding, must be built on a set of values. And for me, the three that has guided me has been integrity, excellence, and authenticity. And it has reflected in the course of my journey. Every now and then I'm faced with one. And it's so important that as young people, especially, we're set to be the future leaders. I believe that the leadership has started already, and it starts from now. All the things I was telling the University of Education of Winneba, I was there a couple of days ago, that all the wrongs that they see in our older folks, that we bash and we criticize so much, we're being tested even now in our campuses. And so, for example, when you are standing for SLC and you go out there, find ways and means, making sure that you are selected, bribing people, doing all the things that you're not supposed to do. You've already started. And when you start, don't expect that when you get to that level, it will change. And so the change has to start from now. And when I talk of integrity, for example, today, social media, the presence on social media is so magnanimous, it's intense, it kind of shapes all of our lives. Even the mere fact that somebody posts something and it's forwarded to you, and then we just automatically repost, we have to begin to take a stand in rethinking about what you're posting, what you're retweeting. Because first of all, you have to ask yourself, does it align with my brand? Does it align with my personal growth? Sometimes the sense of belonging causes us to succumb to societal and industrial demands, and we sacrifice our own personal values and principles, and we shouldn't be caught in those spaces. We should learn to stay in the process. Our world is made up of quick fixes. From the days when we didn't have microwave, and then microwave was introduced, we're cooking faster, but some things will still remain traditional. You can't cook yam faster than you cook it now. Otherwise, you're going to have tummy aches. So pregnancy will still be 9 months. If it's not, then you have a premature baby. And so ideally, some things will still remain in traditional. We should learn to stay in the process and not jump the gun. I always get information from messages in my DM of people who are so excited about acting and that they want to act, and they always come across as they are so good, I should give them a chance. And then I take a trip to their pages just to see whether what they're so passionate about that they're expressing of wanting to have an opportunity, I could get a taste of it on their social handles. And I go there, and it's always selfies of the food they're eating, selfies of the shoe they've bought. And I'm like, okay, this is a platform where you can easily sell what you're so passionate about, for me to come and see, oh, maybe a skit that you've done of a scene that I'll say, oh, okay, yeah, indeed, you're walking the talk, but there's nothing like that. And so we also need to take advantage of these spaces that, yes, there's a aspect of show business that we need to satisfy, but beyond that, it's a platform that we can project ourselves, that people will see the talent and giftings and things that we're passionate about, for people to zoom down on us. And so it is very, very important. Having skill and no character and attitude, for me, it's you don't have a future with it. Today, corporate organizations, companies are looking for personalities to align their brands and products with. I've been in a meeting where I've been selected as an ambassador, and they're looking for a female ambassador to sort of satisfy the gender. And names have come up. In my presence, a name came up, a lady, very good at what she does, but then immediately people came in and said, no, we don't want her. Why? Because of the way she talks on social media. She's rude to her followers. The words she uses, very controversial. Nobody wants to align their products with characters like that, even if you're so good at what you do. So for me, marrying skill and character and attitude is a win-win. And so we must be careful that when we're pursuing whatever that we're pursuing, we may be very, very good at our craft. We must know that character, attitude is what matters, because once you have these two aligned, then you have places to go. I was saying to the other students a while ago that a lady broke my heart really bad when I was in school. Oh, she broke my heart. I didn't even know that I had walked from Labadi to Jamestown. I didn't know. Normally I'll take a car, but I walked that distance because I wanted to grapple with why she broke my heart. And it was tough for me to deal with, because I give off my everything 100%. And so years down the line, when social media came into being, I went on Facebook trying to type her name, trying to find out where on this planet she was, for me to find the reason why she broke my heart. Just that, for me to learn from my lessons. Of course, later on when I did, she said it wasn't my fault, and she went on praising me. Till this day, she has good things to say about me because of the integrity, because of the relationship that I had with her. We didn't break any rules, and I was in champion that, and it was a great relationship. But these are the markers that we leave behind, and that's why one of my favorite philosophers is Pericles, when he says that for what we leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. And so our calling is to lives, and whatever that we're doing, yes, the self-gratification is there, but we must know that it's service to mankind. And so you've been given your giftings because you're supposed to serve others. And so when you're at it, make sure that whatever you're doing is benefit multitudes and not just yourself. Moral boundaries, very, very important. Moral boundaries. It's one of the things that we take for granted when, especially we're on campuses, because we belong to groupings, we have friends and all that, and sometimes we're missing out there and we don't have boundaries. You must determine those boundaries for yourself. Nobody can do that for you. I mean, there are things that you must say that, no, I can't do this because it doesn't align with where I'm going. It doesn't align with my focus. Because if you don't, people will design things for you, and that will not be fulfilling your God-given ability and talent. I mean, so it's important that we have those boundaries so that we're always on track. Even when we go off track, we come back on track, because without that, we'll just pass through without making an impact. It's also important. One of the things that I have learned is also to take criticism very well. I mean, one of the things that we hate is when people come onto our handles and criticize us for something that we've done wrong. I mean, let's be sure that we don't throw the baby with the dirty water with the baby away, because we must understand that there are people who do not know how to express themselves until they come into our DMs or comments on our pages, and it has a rude tone, but what they're saying, there's beef in it, there's meat in it. And so we should overlook how it's being expressed, but look at the content. And if you're able to do that and do some introspection, self inspection, you'll be able to know that, oh, somebody really wants the best for you. And so let's try and take criticisms very well and be able to, still do find ways in which we can be better versions of ourselves. My journey has been what my grandmother would say, zoo soup. It's been a combination of everything. I mean, crabs, meat, chicken, pork, everything. But the ability to always bounce back, because I have a focus. There'll be so many things that would test you. Let me give you one example that I had. This was when I had opportunity. I was given a contract by this alcoholic beverage company, and the opportunity was so huge. I mean, it was the biggest contract I'd had ever as at the time. And this was a time where I was mentoring young boys, young boys, curious, wanting to know the world. And they had taken to me because they had, they've seen me on the screen, pusher. And so every time after church service or whatever social program, they come to me for mentorship, for advice here and there. And I always tell them, look, keep studying, stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol and the rest, So this has been, we've had built a relationship. And then here comes this contract. And in fact, before this contract came, my wife and I had been praying, fasting and praying for an open door, for manna to rain from heaven. And then suddenly a call comes through and this huge contract comes in. And it's like, Charlie, God has answered our prayers, But then, somewhere in the back of my mind, I was in a dilemma, because I was like, okay, it's alcohol. Now here I am. If I go ahead and take this contract and I shoot this contract, this project, I know that when I turn up, maybe at church, after church service, these young boys are going to come to me, hey, Uncle Ajite, you said we shouldn't drink alcohol, but we saw you drinking it in the advert. That alone was a checker. Because young people, what stays with them more are the visuals. What you say, yes, but it sinks deeper by what they see. And so that image of them seeing me drinking alcohol and me telling them stay away from alcohol didn't gel. And because of the responsibility that I had for these young people, I thought that was more of a higher calling than the contract could give me. And so I turned down the contract. Painfully. It's not as easy as I was saying it. It took a lot of doing for me to let go, because the money was good, But then I had a calling. I needed to make that impact on these young boys. And God being so good, about 4 out of these guys have become brilliant guys. And each of them go back to the time that we had those days when they were young, of me mentoring them and the values that I instilled in them, and they will never forget it. This brings me much more fulfillment than the money that would come out from, the project that I did. And so, once again, you're being reminded that as you step into bigger shoes. You're going to be challenged in the areas that you're passionate about, and you have to think beyond yourself. That you have a bigger calling to other people that you've been mentoring directly or indirectly, even your siblings at home, family relations, people that you don't even know. I walked into Nyaho Clinic and a doctor tells me I'm the reason that he did medicine. I'm like, where's the connection? Doctor, acting, you know. But someone, he said it's a long story, but I should take it that I was the reason why, you know. So there are lots of people that we do impact, and I want us to leave here remembering that whatever that choices that we make have implications for the generation now and the generations after us. And so we should be intentional about the choices that we're making so that we do not repeat the same cycle of our parents and our leaders who have gone before us. If I have a minute, just to round up. Family patterns, that's one thing that I also want to leave with you. The fact that you're from a certain family, good name, whatever, it's not just it. Look at the strengths and even much more the weaknesses. I come from a family where out of 8 siblings, you have 1 marriage standing till today. All the 7, basa, nyama, abuse here, drinking here, drugs here. So the issue with me that I know is that relationships would be a challenge. Okay, and so I have to be intentional with the choices that I'm making. To our left, we had the booze house. It was grandfather is a drunkard, son is a drunkard, grandchild is a drunkard. Even the siblings who are girls drink and booze. So what it tells you, if you are from that generation, you must know that stay away from alcohol. It will mess you up. You know, the Kofi Amenyos behind us, you know, there's always action, drama. There's not a day where there's no fight and insults. And we wake up, you know, anticipating an action. And so when there's silence, we go over the world to people to find out, hey, Charlie, what's happening? No event, and we look forward to action for some fight, you know. Well, as kids, these are the things that excited us. But if you're from that family as well, then you must know that, you know, conflicts, not seeing eye to eye with your sibling, or should be something that you should be intentional about, so that you sort of mend and create bridges between one another. And so reflect on the families that you're coming from. There has been a cycle that has started from ancestors that has revisited your parents or your grandparents that you might be repeating, or you're on the verge of repeating. Look out for it. Teenage pregnancies. Some families, teens, that's when they get pregnant. Throughout. There's a temptation out there. Somebody's pestering you. Watch it, so that we can become better versions of people who've walked before us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for this opportunity, and wish you the very best. God bless.
Thank you. But Mr. Ajitanan, before you sit, Mr. Ajite, please, before you sit, we want you to give us the push-up walk. Yeah. It's popularly requested. Are you guys ready? Awesome, so lovely of him. He has given us a lot to ponder over, and I hope that you are going to make good meanings of that. But before we break out to the discussion session, we'll have the rep from the administration to give us, a tidbit of what is going on campus about administration, and to do us is the church relations officer, Mr. Ne Ama. Just have 2 minutes to do that for us. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes.
Good afternoon, my students. Please, how are you all? sure that there is something missing when we talk about university education in Ghana. That is why Heritage University College was born. And we want to use this opportunity also to thank USAC for accepting to bring your program here. And I want to stand on protocol and also leadership of Heritage to say that you are always welcome. USAC, you are always welcome. Our campuses are opened. We would love to see you. Whatever you have seen here, share to others. We are a very young university, but we tell you that what we have here are an envy to many universities in Ghana. We have students since 2018 that have been competing in the US for an international competition called the Global Fowler Competition. And the reason is simple. We said there is a missing link, and that missing link is that we want every student who enters here, no matter the course you are doing, should leave here really transformed, because we believe in a transformed education. We do not want any of our students to leave here struggling to look for jobs for themselves. We have a department that we call the Student Support Unit. The purpose of that unit is to have all the records of our present and past students. We have time for them. If any of them is not working, the school is ready to look for jobs for them. And that is the responsibility of that department. We don't want any of our students to leave here struggling to look for a job. And one thing that makes us unique is the issue about entrepreneurship. And that is why we have been going for that competition since 2018. Mr. Ajete, if you are here and you need eggs to buy, our students will sell eggs to you. We have students who are into farming, fish farming, any type of fish you want. Just tell us, we'll get it for you. The last graduation that we did, the overall best student had something that is unique about him. He started his degree program here. In the first year, he was convinced when we said or advised all students to take one of the units or departments we have in this school called the CPS, Center for Professional Studies. The idea is that any course that our students are doing have other professional courses alongside. So we encourage them to let this center give them free tuition, and I repeat, free tuition for all these professional courses. And that student took advantage of it. He came here to do degree in accounting. He left being the overall best student at the same time being a chartered accountant within these 4 years. And this is what Heritage gives. So we are pleading with you as you have come here. We look at the facilities that we have. Look at the serene environment that we provide and speak on our behalf. This one maybe you charge us, but we'll talk about it later. What is the vision of Heritage? We are saying that we want to become a leading Christian university that is promoting excellence in the advancement of knowledge and entrepreneurship, to transform lives and society. And this is what we are pushing to our students, so that in the event any of them graduates and enters into any organization, or he or she is doing his own business, he should understand that he or she came out of Heritage. Like Ajete, you know, a Ghanaian man says that Ngainche ne dedion. You understand? When you see a charcoal seller, nobody will tell you that this person sells charcoal. If you come out of Heritage, if anyone sees you, if you are working on your own or you are working for any organization, they will see you as a unique person. And that is what we are pushing. In the same vein, our students believe in the 5 C's, which happens to be the mission of Heritage. Heritage provides education that cultivates conviction, character, creativity, compassion, and community to serve God and neighbor. These 5 C's, we don't just say it, we mean it. There is one other thing that we realize, that many HRs, human resource practitioners, are saying that now they are not just looking for certificates from universities. What they are looking for is character and the capability to perform your task. So you will never go to any university or any interview that they'll ask you, which university did you attend? That is why we focus on the 5 C's. We want to give products to university or to organizations and parents who brought the students here, that they have seen a change in the life of their students or their wards. And that is what the 5 C's stands for. If I've ever worked in any of the financial institutions, you value the 5 C's of Heritage. Character is everything. The elderly tells us that beauty will send you to marriage, but character will bring you home. That is why we believe in the 5 C's. Currently, as we speak, we have opened our admissions, and my colleagues are just sitting on my left side outside. The admissions team are there. If you are here and our invited guest, we plead with you. I have something for you before you leave. Please take this. Please take this. Please take this. Please take this. These are the programs we run currently. But we are telling you that watch out. The Nursing and Midwifery Council came before we started our nursing program. And they came to inspect our nursing skills lab. And they told us that we have raised the standard too high, because they have never seen any nursing school in Ghana that have those facilities that we have. And please, I have another breaking news for you. Watch out for midwifery. And find time and go and check the midwifery skills lab. And you will be jumping. You will be jumping. The purpose is to make sure that when you live here as a student, wherever you will go and work. And first of all, let's thank the first group that started the nursing, because they have also raised the standard. We have had reports from Ridge Hospital, which is the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. We have had information from Pokwasi and Amasama hospitals that they have never seen the kind of students we have trained doing their practicals with them. They've never seen some before. All because we don't forget that this university belongs to a Christian, or a Christian university. We don't forget about that, and it belongs to the Church of Christ. We want to say that when you live here, send that message to everyone. Admissions are opened. And you know also that the 300 Ghana cedis is still there. And we are ready to pay if you bring a student. Thank you very much.
Let's do it loud for Mr. Niyama. Awesome. So I know you've been sitting down for quite a long time, and so we'll have a little bit of 5 minutes break to stretch up and also meet our panelists before we gear into the discussion session with the Q&A follows. But whilst we are going to be doing the Q&A, we have 2 books that will be given out to students for free by the panelists. We have the 100 Ghanaian of Noble Disposition, which features a lot of prominent Ghanaians who are making strides both locally and international. You have to read about them to be motivated as well. And that is coming from Mr. D. Otibu Asare, and he will be giving out these books. There will be 5 left in the library for you that you will not be able to purchase here and now. Also, we have the Human Resource to Human Capital the essence of population management from Dr. Letitia as well will be given out. But the purpose of this is to make sure that you're reading and being informed about things that are going on in the world to have a good future for yourself. The book is selling at 120 cities, but because here and it's on campus, they are giving it out for 100 Ghana cedis. So prepare yourself. If you don't win some during the discussion, I thought you would be clapping by now. They've discounted it for you. Awesome. So please prepare yourself. So the rules for the meet and greet and the 5 minutes break is that the panelists will come down and interact with some of you or all of you if possible. But please do not take photos with them now. We'll have a photo shoot session after the whole program. And please refrain from asking of their personal numbers. This is strictly business. Just network and get to know them. If you want more information about them, you can go on their social media platforms and you can connect with them as well. So please, the 5 minutes starts now, and we will see you back in the next 5 minutes.
Heritage is a distinctive Christian university in Ghana today. It's a university intentionally set up to provide what I call a missing link in the tertiary education delivery in Ghana and on the continent of Africa.
Unemployment is a huge issue in our country, Ghana, and for that matter, in the whole of Africa. And that is the difference that Heritage seeks to make, helping to have the Ghanaian young people train and give themselves meaningful jobs without having to wait. This is phenomenal, and we are focused on delivering that.
The Center for Entrepreneurship, Philanthropy and Ethics is one of the units of HCC that has decided to help the students to be able to develop their skills in entrepreneurship, help them to be able to write business plans, to employ other people. And then they do all of these things in the context of ethics and giving back to society.
Before you finish HCC, you have your own business. It's a privilege to you because you won't be hunting around looking for a job. You already have your job. So with a CEP, if you're a student in Heritage Christian University, you have a great opportunity of becoming an entrepreneur right after school.
Our company name is Rosemarsh Farms Ghana Limited. Our vision is to be the preferred choice for quality, affordable, and value-added agricultural products.
At Apex Track, we are into tracking of vehicles, both for commercial and for private owners. And we provide value for our customers.
In our modest way, we want to make learning very practical. We want to train people not only in the theory, but even important is our students to be able to apply whatever theory that they learn into resolving very everyday problems. In this modern world, in this era, there is nothing that you can do well without the use of technology. Everything is driven by technology, and we want to be relevant.
They gave me the opportunity to own a laptop so that I could pay in installments. The laptop that they exposed us to really helped me.
The actual thing that convinced me to come to Heritage was the fact that I'm going to have 24-hour Wi-Fi. A student is going to be given a laptop. So this was like a chance for me. I mean, it was like, that's it, that's where I want to be.
We don't just want to train people to go and then cater for the physical needs of people, but to also cater for the spiritual needs. These leaders as well also start their own community development initiatives to impact lives in various parts of Ghana and Africa.
We are already seeing evidence of the impact of the kind of teaching and training we are giving them. We have students who have been in school for 2-3 years, and some of them have already started small businesses, not big, but they are excited about it. And we have students, a number of them who are right now working on their business plans to be assessed and evaluated and coached. And it's really gathering momentum.
We are inviting you to enroll this admission period. Admission is in progress.
Admissions requirement conform to the National Accreditation Board standards, and that is 3 core, 3 electives, including English and Maths in WASSCE or SSC with credit pass or better. We also admit with GBC and ABC. We also admit HND top-ups. Mature students can apply, take an entrance exams, and be admitted upon passing.
Heritage Christian.
Hi there, welcome to the Fair Learning Commons. As a student of Heritage Christian University College, this space is my second home on campus. Let me give you a tour.
The ground floor is the first point of call where you enter the building. It houses the reference desk where all inquiries are handled by professional and welcome library staff.
The floor is stocked with rich collection of art and humanity, as well as periodicals for leisure reading. It provides a congenial environment for studying away from the noise on campus.
Resources and staff here are so welcoming. Each student has a locker when they use the facility for security purposes. Lest I forget, this building hosts the best internet connectivity on campus.
Studying in the library has never seemed to be this relaxing and fun. With the creation of social learning common space, group learning just got more interested. It provides the right environment for collaboration while fostering community.
With a variety of furnishing and aesthetics, this space helps contribute to establishing a conducive atmosphere for focused academic endeavors.
Our patrons are assured of their security and that of their belonging with our 24-hour security surveillance.
This floor has an ultra-modern electronic section that features 20 desktop computers for library patrons. Additionally, it houses a rich collection of business, nursing, and information technology books.
For convenience, there are washrooms on this floor, as with all the other floors for our patrons, allowing them to be focused at all times.
The bonus to this floor is the seminar room, which has been set for video conference facilities for training workshops and other collaborative activities.
Now you have to be extra quiet here. Just kidding. This floor is specifically designed for graduate students and faculty. They also need a meal time for research and collaboration.
I welcome you to our state-of-the-art library. Experience a welcoming atmosphere and a vast array of resources at your disposal to help you excel. Your journey to success begins here.
Mr. Nimson, please, if you're around, Dean wants to see you real quick. Awesome. You're all welcome to the second session of today's event. And this session, we're going to be asking our panelists a couple of questions pertaining to the theme that we were doing today, igniting aspirations and ambition. We want to get their clear picture of how they were able to navigate through the world of business, navigate through the world of, professionalism that they've attained so far, and how mentorship helped them get to where they are. And by so doing, we'll open the floor to as well for all of you to ask questions. And if you're able to ask questions, you'll be given a book from each panelist. So we have 3 books to share. That means we have 12 books to give away today. And so please pay rapt attention and then ask all your questions if you need to ask them. But we'll start with Dr. Otibu Asari. Doc, you've been one of the pillars in Africa that is championing the goal of inclusivity and making sure that people that are doing well in the industry they find themselves are projected to the next generation. Even your book, The 100 Ghanaians That Are Doing So Well, is even a testimony to that. Whilst you were growing up, did you find any of these people you've written about as an inspiration for you to become who you are today?
While I was growing up, I was a bad type. Yes, I lived a very bad life from the beginning. But along the line, I had to go to several secondary schools. Because the first secondary school I went, I was was terminated. My admission was terminated. And because my parents didn't want me to have any bad record, they have to take me to another school. But along the line, I remember there was an incident happened in my life. I went somewhere with friends and we got drunk. And while we were sitting somewhere, I was meditating. I meditated for a very long time. And I told God that, God, if you can change my life, I will serve you. If you can help me stop drinking. And like Prof said, I wasn't drinking beer. I was drinking akpateshi. And I spoke to God, and luckily, He had mercy on me. His face shined on me. And I suddenly started going to church. And that was it. Since then, I've not looked back. I stayed in Nigeria for several years. And even the magazine, we published the West African magazine. We started a magazine in Nigeria. And I gave my life to Christ in Nigeria. From there, I realized that if I don't go to a Bible school, I may backslide. So I decided to go to a Bible school. Even when I left the Bible school and started working, there was this inscription I placed on my desk. I made it so bold that I did that so that any lady that comes to the office, immediately he reads that inscription, he will not talk to me about any relationship or whatever. And luckily too, I think it helped a lot. if you come there with any ill motive and you see that kind of thing. I wasn't a pastor then, but I wrote that, and even the Bible course I did, and then the ordination, what have you, I did all that because I was afraid I would backslid. So all along, I wanted a situation where I will be very close to God. I will be going to church. I will be mixing with Christians, so that when you come from a background of witchcraft and all those, yes, you have to be very careful, because sometimes they manipulate people, like people who want to serve God.
Yeah.
And I did journalism. I went to Nigeria. I told myself that I was only going to work for somebody for a year. So I worked for 1 or 2 media houses, and then established the West Africa magazine from Nigeria. So I became a publisher from Nigeria. And since then, all the projects that I've been involved in, with God intervention, I've always succeeded. The other thing is, like I spoke about integrity, you have to be very honest. It doesn't matter what it will cost you. If you are honest, God will be with you.
Yes.
And then you will also move very, very fast.
I can tell that the God factor is strong in your life after the encounter that you made. But Mr. Ajeti Adan, I would want to find out from you. You have been mentoring a lot of youngsters in the, let's say, movie industry most of the times, and you could give us a full view of how they react to their resources and opportunities that they have been exposed to. Would you say that this generation is reluctant to achieve their dreams when it comes to something that has to do with mentorship and leading the next generation?
Thank you. So I think that for the most part, you get a sense of they needing mentorship, but then they're not reaching out for help. And I think that I relate that to the age of social media, and that in a way has also made them not honest about what their challenges are truthfully. And because even the way social media is crafted, even when we take 10 pictures at the same time, we delete about 9 or 8 and then post the best 2. All right, so you're always postured to post the best. Even when you are not apt to, you still want to find a way of posting what you are not, and satisfy a certain aesthetic demand, and therefore that has also gone into where if they're going through challenges that are personal, it's covered, it's hidden, and they're not reaching out for help. And so I think that there's a lot more work for some of us to do, and that was why I was inspired to write my book, for example, because I got the sense that even when I go on set with newcomers, those who are just entering, there's some sense of intimidation where they can come close to me, and so I would rather, if I were on a high horse, I get down and move towards them to strike some conversation, because look, there are things that they bring to the space that are very authentic and original that I also want to learn from and add to mine and make me relevant. And so I'm never in a position where I'm like, oh, I know it all, I've been it, I know, been experienced, you are the newcomer, you should come to me for tidbits. No. So I think that we need to reach out to them. And writing the book was a sense of telling them that, look, if you've struggled with flirting, if you struggled with relationships, well, I've been through that journey. And so, well, you don't look at me as here. it should tell you that, oh, if Ajete has gone through it, then okay, then I feel a bit human, and I could reach out to him and ask him a few questions. How did he go through it? How did you overcome and all that? And I think that we need to reach out more to these young people so that they come out of their shells and be able to thrive and then fulfill their God-given gifts. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Ayesu. I know you have a strong background in history and family relations and all that. Would you say that in the now setting of informal education, is it piloting people to be leaders nowadays, especially our generation?
Yeah, your question is complex, and in a situation where almost everything in our society is formalized, social media, education, and whatever, talking about the informal is a bit trickish. But I believe it's very important, and we need to be conscious of the fact that it's not everything that we learn that should come from the formal. We should pay attention or give direction to the informal, in the sense that there are a lot to be learned as we go about our daily lives. And some of these lessons are not really intended. They are just there. It is left to you to recognize that in addition to the formal setup, the informal has a lot to teach us. We have people in the informal economy, people who have not had education or any high level of education, but are striving and are succeeding. There are people who have not gone through training to teach people, but they are able to give out or give direction to skill training, to education, both writing and learning and whatever. And if we do that, then we know that the informal could complement the formal to provide a holistic a person who is more or less all around, knows everything or a bit of everything in one way or the other. And that, in a way, will have to take us back to learning some of our cultural practices. I do agree, honestly, I do agree that some of our practices are outmoded. But if we go beyond the practices and find out the philosophy, the idea behind those practices, we will come to understand why they were doing what they were doing in the past, and then find a way to do some of the things we do today with those past philosophies.
Saying that mentors are finding it difficult to find mentees to train. I think mentees should look for mentors. Mentees should look for mentors. Like a Heritage University, the students knew that they lacked the knowledge to be relevant to themselves and to their society. So yes, the school advertised their programs, but the students came. That is how mentee-mentor relationship is. It is difficult for me to know what you need, but with us in the public space, you would know that this person has this to offer. So I think it's supposed to be, you know, there's a document I read from Barbados, and I think they have one of the best mentor-mentee relationships. The mentor-mentee relationship in that country is like national service. Yes. And so before you attain the age of, I think about 27 or 28, as part of national service, you should have mentored a group of young people, and that is intergenerational. So mentor-mentee relationship is intentional. It does not just happen. Look at a state that recognizes that mentorship is important and so has put it as part of their national agenda. But normally, mentees should look for mentors. Mentors should make themselves available. As Ajete said, a high horse, you come down so that people can approach you. Because what is life if people are not benefiting from your experience? I think it's a very poor life. Life with meaning should benefit others. And I'll pick from what Dr. Thibault said about the life he was leading and the steps he took. So he knew his goal, he knew his challenge. He did not want to be there, so he took steps. The steps did not come to him, but he, the one who knows he had the challenge, took the steps with the write-ups and all that. So he did what he did to make sure that he attained the goals that he wants to achieve. So the mentees should really look for mentors. And mentors should make themselves available, because it is a joy and a privilege for somebody to approach you and say, mentor me. I think it's service to God. It is really preaching, because your life is preaching in such a way that they find you worthy to follow.
Mr. Jete, one of the anthems of the youth nowadays is that the country is really, really hard even for them to afford the basic necessities. Now, we know that mentoring, it's not an easy job by the mentors to be doing, and it's capital intensive in order to make sure that they have the right resources for them. What are some of the, let's say, cheapest way a mentee can, self-induct to become good leaders of themselves? Any experience you've had, and how were you able to do that as well?
I think one of them would be, how well they project themselves, and they have all their tools to do so. And I think I touched on one of it when I said we've been blessed with the age of social media, and we have handles where we post all sorts of things other than post what we are good at and what we're passionate about. Yeah, there are a few people who are doing that now, and now people are selling on social media, and they're making their orders, they're having their orders, and they're making their money on those spaces. Others still haven't realized that it's a space where you can project what you're good at, because now I know there are team out there who go out to look at people's handles to find out what they're good at, whether it aligns with their goals, their products, just so that they get and unearth talents in that space, align it with their products, and then market their products and make money out of that. And so we need to project ourselves rightfully and take advantage of the opportunity that social media offers us, and not just see it as a space where we just satisfy show business, just what we wear, what we eat, where we are, etc., etc. There's also one thing it just went out of my mind. I just missed my point. But could you repeat it again so that probably it will trigger? Yeah, I think that one other way would be is having multiple streams of income. And how can that be? For example, and I'll speak with my journey. I'm passionate about acting, okay? But then I'm like, okay, acting, that alone will not make ends meet, especially where I'm not producing my own productions yet on a regular basis, where I wait for a producer or a director to call on me for an opportunity. How can I use this gift in other sectors that are still aligned to my performance? And so I went into teaching, lecturing. Now I'm lecturing, but acting for the screen. It's it's a specific field because it deals with the screen alone. Not only that, so I'm making income from that direction. I'm still performing and acting. How can I still, make another stream of income? Okay, form a company. As of all, I formed a company with my wife where we do community development projects, and so we pitch and go to corporate organizations who are into those kind of jobs, and we have a contract. We only have started the contract about 3 years ago with MasterCard Foundation, where we're going to the regions to change mindsets about agriculture and ATVET, issues. And what do? We use skits and drama. We go into the communities, we get stories that are specific to the areas, and we involve, that there's all-inclusive participation where we use the drama on the subject to change people's mindset. And I find myself in there as well. So the same thing that I'm passionate about, I've diversified myself in these areas. I do stage as well and other things. And so what are the things that you are passionate about? How can you find other ways in which you can benefit from? And those are the things that we need to begin to investigate and not wait for anybody to do that for us, because there are people who are doing it and the market is not that big. So you quickly have to begin to look at those areas, and so it's rests on us. And so I believe that that can also help, especially in
Yes, Prof. Ayensu, I want to find out, is the young ones that are looking for leadership, how do we sift and find the right mentors for our career?
Yes and no, everyone can mentor, and it depends on what type of mentorship do you want to. So it depends on what type of mentorship you want. And that is where I'll agree with Doug on the issue of mentees looking out for mentors, in the sense that people everywhere have their goals, their desires and aspirations, and therefore if you, the mentee, you look out for a mentor, you go for the right person. The other way, to turn your question the other way around, should we all desire to mentor people? Yeah, I think yes. And then you train and prepare yourself to be a good mentor. It's just like we generally think that every dead person is an ancestor. It's not true. It's not every dead person who is an ancestor. An ancestor is the one who led a worthy life and was given, on your death, given a fitting burial, and that transcends you into an ancestor. If you have led a heroic life,
yes,
then not that because you have come to live and died, you are an ancestor. The same thing applies to a mentor who should be a mentor.
That's good. Dr. Otibwedi, we want to also find out, someone would want to say that, I have vast resources around. I can learn on YouTube, I can learn on social media to become a good leader. Should we find it necessary to have a connection with a mentor in person to be trained to become good leaders?
I think it's very important. You must have a role model, and some of these things too, you get them in fellowships. Let's say you belong to a particular group. It may be a Christian group, a social group, or whatever. But when you look around, we are lucky to have television, our phones, and all that, social media, and all that. So there used to be a man called Day to Me, or so Day to Me, and he is a specialist in mentoring people, and he was doing a very good job. He moves from one school to another, and then he organizes programs where he invites the younger ones to come and listen to him. His mentorship is Christian based, and in fact, he made a lot of younger ones better in their various fields of endeavor. So it depends on the particular area that you want mentorship. You can read books. Oyedepo used to say that it's a product of books. There are a lot of books you can read, motivational books. The greatest mentor is Jesus Christ. If you read the Bible, there's nothing you will not see there. That will also help you. And then when you see personalities, but you have to be very careful, because some of these people, when you get closer to them, their social life is different from, and they might even want to take advantage of you. So one has to be very careful the type of person you want him to mentor you. You have to be very careful. I think Otabe used to say that before he makes somebody his friend, he must have known him for, 10 years or I mean, before he can trust somebody, he might have known the person for about 10 years. So we have to be very careful. But I think, like Doc said, you have to choose a mentor.
Okay.
You can even walk to the person and say, maybe I've read about you, I've been listening to your presentations or lectures or what have you. And, we have, especially the universities.
Yes.
People like some of these owners of universities, Professor Labi and others, who are willing. To anybody that goes to them, they are ready to mentor you on any field, any field of life.
Awesome. So we now open it up to all of you to also ask your mentees questions, your mentors questions. So I'll be going around with the microphone. If you have any question, you mention the mentor you want to ask the question to, and then you ask the question. So who would want to do as the first honors? Oh.
So my first question goes to Dr. Letitia. Please, if you could go back to time, will you have changed your career? If no, what inspired you to be a health coach? And the second question goes to Mr. Ajete. Please, what advice will you give to the youths who are uncertain about their ambition and inspiration?
Thank you. Are we to answer directly, or we take the questions
where they were addressed? So
okay. So, well, from my experience, the first thing you do, pray about it. I think that, look, once you are created on this earth, somebody has put in certain qualities, has given you a gift that is waiting to be projected, that is waiting to be exhibited. And so you need to pray about it. But also listen to those around you. The people who, out of blue, say that maybe you haven't even realized that you're good at something, that you have a flair that people would have to struggle or take forever to be able to learn. Listen to the recommendations that are coming in, and then begin to practice in those areas. But once again, to like we've all said here, you need to seek help. You need to talk to people, experts who can help you do that, because sometimes, especially you were a lady, but especially with the guys, we think that there's this macho thing that we do, that we have everything under control, we know what we're about. Meanwhile, we're making all the wrong mistakes. And so we need to seek help. We need to seek information for people who've walked that path, who struggled with having, not knowing what to do, so that they can help direct you. So reaching out of yourself, asking for help, and also listening to, people who are saying things to you. Not everybody. There's some people who will say things that just want to be in your good books, but there are people who, when they speak into your life and say that, look, you're good at this, the caliber of people, because they're experienced, they're knowledgeable, that the impact that they've made. And so for me, this is a few of what you should rely on, but don't forget the prayer as well.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for the question. What inspired you to be a doctor? As a young girl, I didn't know what I was going to be. I just followed what I excelled at. I told you that you should be passionate with what you excel at, if you remember when I was giving my presentation. So I just followed what I excelled at. And I excelled at maths and science. So that is what I followed, because I found so much joy in it. I didn't understand why people couldn't do maths, seriously. Because, and I'm serious, your question is really going to give me a lot of time. Please have time for it. Because you see, in the law courts, we all speak English. But when you go, somebody will have to interpret. Is that not so? I never understood that one. But for maths, 1 + 1 is 2. Whether it's in Ghana, in Japan, in South Africa, 1 + 1 is 2. You don't need interpretation of anything. You understand? So I really don't understand why people don't like maths. It's really the easiest and exact subject. And you know what? Everybody is doing maths here. Should I tell you how? Even the dress you are wearing is maths. The measurement, you get it. The shoe size, everything is maths. So now back to your question. So my best subject is maths. So I did maths till Form 5. Okay? 6th form, I did maths. And I got physics and maths prize in Achimota. Then now I was at a crossroad. Maths, science, medicine. I didn't want to work with metals. I wanted to work with human beings. And so the obvious choice for me then was medicine, because I wanted to, I like seeing people happy. I don't like seeing people sad. And medicine is where the magic is. Somebody is sad today, the following day he's happy. Is that not so? When you help the person. So that is how I got into medicine, even though I had always been a maths student. And then I graduated, came, started working, and still wondering why not everybody is happy. Why are people still sick? So what maths does for you, it gives you analytical mind. You keep asking questions, the why. And for me, that was God-given. You understand? So that's why I'm saying that you align your passion with your soul.
We'll take the remaining question.
I'm not done yet.
You're not done, Mrs. Cynthia.
Let me finish. You see, now he's put me on the path of my passion and my soul. So give me some few minutes and I'll be done. So that was it. So I came back. Why are people not healthy? Then I realized that, health is not in the hospital. It's in the homes of people. So I did public health. Still, people were not. Then I went on and studied. So even though I'm a medical doctor, I also have a PhD. So I'm a doctor, both of it. You get it? So that is what really pushed me to do what I did. And as the immediate past executive director, that position really showed me where my maths, my science, my public health converged. So you see how the journey takes you if you just follow what you are destined to be. Thank you. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
Please, my question is to Dr. Otibu Asare. Please, I would like to find out, or I would like to know the inscription you placed on your desk in those times that really drove ladies away from you when you were trying to transform your life from alcoholic to be a Christian.
Well, what I wrote was that this is an ordained man of God. Don't trespass.
I think he didn't hear the question. She's answered. All right, so the lady in here would. So Jemima, please get her a book. Then the lady here to ask. So we're only going to do like 3 more after this lady. So please.
Please, my question is to Mr. Ajete. We are all student leaders, we are youth as well, and I think there is an aspect that we normally don't focus on. That's the Christian aspect of everything that we do. You are coming from the entertainment industry, and mostly we see some of these artists not projecting their Christian lifestyle. From everything that you taught us today, you even cited an instance that you had to fast with your partner to make a decision whether to take the contract or not. Yeah, so as student leaders, we normally find it difficult combining our Christian lifestyle with the leadership role that we normally take upon ourselves. So if you can throw a little more light to that and share some of your experiences as to how you were able to overcome that and still maintain your Christian lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you. So it is very key, it is very important that you cannot separate the two. I mean, you're pursuing your academics and your career and then put God on hold and say, God, wait, and let me finish this and let me come to you. You draw inspiration, you draw direction, guidance, and you know, for you to pursue whatever that you need to pursue from him. And for me, it was more like, okay, I'm not just passionate about, you know, the creative industry or creative space, but there is a reason why I am going to that space. That I go in there to be an example, to negotiate change. So take, for example, not just in character-wise, but even the way we do, you know, our creative space is structured. When I returned from school with my master's, I came back into the industry and I realized that I could not align theory, what I'd learned, with what was being practiced. And remember, this had been done over and over and over. You know, it had become so entrenched that people didn't see doing the wrong thing as a big deal. It had become a part of them. And so when I got back and I realized that, oh, Charlie, you guys, you're really, really going off. And that's how come we have the output we're getting. I get a script today and they tell me, oh, we're shooting the restaurant scene tomorrow. I'm like, hello. I haven't even read the script. I haven't done my character analysis. There's a research I need to do so that I deepen my character so that when it comes out, people will know that, oh, some work went into it. That's how come some of our productions are so shallow. And so instead of me going like, oh no, that's not how it's done, you know, we don't do it this way, and so I won't do it. Because the moment you do that, people blacklist you. They're like, oh, book long, too known. He thinks he knows it. Oh, okay, so let's give it to somebody else. That's not how to effect change. I needed to go into negotiate. And you know that when you're going to the war front, you don't go there just with your brains and what you've learned. You have to pray. You have to pray about it. For God to give you guidance, for God to give you ideas, strategy as to how to even talk to these people, for them to have opening hearts and minds to accept the change that you're bringing. And so I'll negotiate with the director and tell him, Masa, you know, I'll do this thing. I want to do it the best way so that your name will be out there. Give me like 1 week. Then you scream and say, 1 week is too much, blah, blah, blah. Then, I'll coax him. I try to make it, give him all the words, accolades, just to make him feel good. And then he'll succumb and say, okay, 1 week. Meanwhile, I need more than a week to do that. I need a month or so. But it means that I have to steady and stay at work, bend the candle, and all that. In the Western world, the ideal is people are getting their scripts a year in advance. And that's how come the output is so good, because a year advance doesn't mean that, you just have time on our hands. But we are going to fly actors to China to see a Shaolin master to be trained for 3 months. He's coming down to go on a diet program because they want him in a certain shape for 2 months. He's going to learn horse riding or, something. And so there are reasons why, the Western spaces do the things that they do, and we need to also, inject that into our spaces. So in all this, I can't take the God factor aside, because otherwise when I go in there, I may be, influenced and also become like them. But I am the one who is bringing in the change. So I need that power, I need that grace to be able to go in there. So you cannot leave, especially when you are wanting to exhibit your God-given talents. He has put that into you, so you need that manual, if you will, to be able to give you that direction. So let's not do like, give what is Caesar's to Caesar. We have to marry the two. Hope I answered your question.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to ask Mr. Yesu. He's one of the men I really admire on campus. So I want to find out what pivotal movement did you take, like a change that really changed your career, a decision you took that changed your career path?
So one decision you took that changed your career path, yes, Doc.
The direction?
Yes.
That's interesting. It was a wise decision taken by my parents when I was in class 4, class 5 at the Presbyterian Primary School at Winneba, close to the University of Education. My father worked with the PWD, so we live at the road camp opposite the nursing training junction. And every evening, I'll beat up somebody's child. And the next day, they bring the child to my parents to take him or her to the hospital. So at a point, they decided that we were going for Christmas holidays. And they decided to leave me with my grand aunt at Adoso. She was a teacher. And it was a glorious decision for them. They were exiling me to have their peace of mind. But it ended up that I was going to be with someone who will spoil me. Spoil me in the sense that you dare not talk about me negatively, even when she is talking about me, not even my parents. And then guided me. I come from a family, both mother and father's side, where drunkards are in the majority. Then she decides that you are not going to be a drunkard. And I mean, I had aunties, uncles who have passed through her hands, but I became so special. I just didn't understand. She wanted me to be what she thought was my destiny, and that's what made me. And therefore, I also developed a greater love for her, but I didn't want to disappoint, offend, or do anything that will make her unhappy. And so that's the principle that I've lived on. She's passed and gone, and there's so many things that I don't do because I know she will not be happy with it. And it comes to the issue of mentoring. This is how she wanted me. And as a matter of fact, she was a teacher. She had retired, but when I said I was going to training college, she wept. She was not happy. Apparently, when I was staying at WAF that 1 year, her cousin's husband, who was a Presbyterian pastor, got my result slip, took it to Kwapeman, and they looked at it and brought us issue that aggregate 23 as against 22. So they said they can't take me. And this man went to PTC. They look at my results, said, oh, go and tell him tomorrow he should come to school. He was so happy. Took it to my grand aunt and told her that he's gotten admission for me at Presbyterian Training College. They said, who? Ofori. Ofori will not be a teacher. If Ofori, that's my name. I used to use my father's name. If Ofori is going to be a teacher, not at the basic level, he has to be at the university, a lecturer. So, is that so? I didn't know. So I had come to the reality that I was going to stay at home for 2 years. As a matter of fact, if you have that encounter, you lose the respect at home, especially your mother. You are a disappointment. I had a big sister who thought that as a big sister, she also should emulate that of my mother. So that respect was gone.
Yeah.
So, and you are going to stay at home 2 years. When they want someone to come and fan the coal pot, they call you. They want someone to drive goats away, they call you. That's what I decided that no, let me go to school.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. The personality is someone to lead you, and you also accepted. I accepted that I needed to make a move and turn the skills around. Coincidentally, when my sister's daughter had to go to training college, she had to call me at US to advise her daughter. And I said, I can't advise your daughter. That daughter doesn't want to go to training college because of what you said about me as a teacher. So go back and reverse all that. And eventually, at the time, my mates were, one was the principal, another senior housemaster, and others. And I said, hello, one of my nieces has fallen apart and wants to come to training college, so take him. So that is what you have to come to the realization that if you don't move from A to B, you become stagnant, and the results not so pleasant. That's what made me change. The advantage of it is I've come to realize that you might be at a disadvantage at this time. That's why I talk to the pre-degree people. I come to your class. Our dog was glorifying mathematics. I will not. Honestly, 1 + 1 is 1. But when they tell you there's something called simultaneous relation, it says it's easier. I got to know it's easier when I was in university. That I went to statistics, the classroom, they've done statistics, and I got to know that simultaneous equation means when what you do at the left, do it at the right. I've grown and passed that. At that time, I had 3 children.
Yes.
So I would never glorify maths, but at least the ladies here, it's good to hear a lady glorifying maths, which we all along we have erroneously conceived the idea that maths is for boys. So I applaud her. She's good. I have a daughter who's also a medical doctor. She's also into maths, and I said, are you not going to be bad?
Awesome intake from Doc there. So we'll get 2 questions, and then I think 3 is fine. Then we can move on to the closing of this ceremony. But whilst we're waiting to have the 3 questions asked, the refreshment is being shared to you guys. So please sit calmly, and then you get your refreshment. Sandra, and then 2 other people, and we wrap it up.
Okay, so mine is a general question. So I want to know some of the feedback mechanism that mentors put in place to know that mentees are really getting what they want. I want to know because sometimes you'll be mentoring someone, but you are not, the person is not getting what you are teaching. Yeah, so I want to know some of the feedback mechanism that mentors put.
Yeah, I would think you have to do, you yourself have to do an introspection. Ask yourself, either the mentee approached you, or you decided to take him or her on to mentor, and you are not seeing results, ask yourself what is happening. And I think one big issue has to do with communication, how you communicate with or to the person. Is it always instructions? Is it always condemnation? Is it always pampering and whatever? And when you do the introspection, you get to know where you are falling short, and then you also do an open conversation with the person. Make the person aware that this is the result I expect you to produce, but it's not forthcoming. What is wrong? And this conversation should be very, very cordial. It's not exams that you're going to ask questions and then in our old days your cane is beside you, or if you have a sharp tongue like myself, you lace your question with insults, insinuations, and what have you. No, a frank one. What is wrong? What am I doing? Are you following what? When you address all these, you might come up with a good results.
Yeah, thank you. Since it's to all of us, I just would want to add something to it. You see, mentorship is helping you achieve your aim. Helping you to achieve your aim. And so just picture boxing, okay? They box, and then when they are on break, you go to the corner, then the coach will come. You didn't hit here, you didn't. The coach is not doing the fighting. You are fighting. But the coach is helping you to achieve your aim. So if you understand it that way, you should know your aim, and then you should have a coach or a mentor who would help you. So he just helps you to overcome the obstacles. That you don't go too close to the boxer because his stretch is high or it's long. So you do this and do that. So that is the relationship. And so if the relationship can go bad, if he says don't go this way, you are going that way, and you say that the mentoring is not okay, because probably you are not listening to the professional advice. You understand? And then a bit on what Prof said about maths and arts. There's a beautiful quote I read. I've forgotten who said it. But he said, the sciences, the arts, and religion are sides of God's creation. They all fit into it. There's so much harmony between arts and science and religion. The problem is because we do not see that harmony, that synergy, then we think that it's a problem. But there's really no... It's like the piano. The white and the black keys come together to make harmonious sound. So yes, I would praise maths, you would praise arts, somebody would praise religion, but all together is going to the same person, the creator.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My question is to Mr. Ajete Anand. When we were growing up, we are still growing up anyway, but when we were very little children, in our classrooms, our teachers ask us, what do you want to be in the future? And mostly we come up with conventional jobs, popular jobs. I want to be a doctor. And as we grow up, we realize that, Charlie, the thing, it makes shit. So let me change jobs. And then we keep on changing our aspirations and our ambitions. So my question to you is, how do we know what is in us for us to keep on igniting it? Because it appears in Ghana, we are being influenced by our economic woes and our parental guidance more than the mentors and who have gotten out there and who can guide us. Is there anything in your life that you can share with us that will shed light on this? Thank you.
Thank you. I think in one way or the other we've tackled some aspects of the question. But speaking from my own experience, first of all, going back to what Doc said, that what you're passionate about, you need to excel in that area. And so what is that thing that brings you fulfillment? What is that thing that you believe that you're passionate about? That's what you need to pursue. Now, speaking to my journey, I remember very well, I was sharing this with some of your colleagues, that yes, we're all caught in those spaces where what do you want to become? People say lawyer, people say doctor, and you don't want to be left out, so you'd also say something that looks, great. But then that may not be what you really are wired for. Now, my dad was a biochemist, was a scientist, and he was very good at that. Now, he had set up businesses, that, in those days when our fathers, grandparents set up businesses, they expect that their children will take over the business sometime when they can't work anymore and then continue the legacy. And so my dad had done that. But unfortunately for my dad, I had been exposed to movies very early. And I had seen examples of fathers in movies. I see fathers who take their children out on picnics, to the parks, to Disney World and what have you. And it was fun, it was exciting. They had a relationship with their children. And I liked that kind of example. And I wanted to be a father like that. My dad, unfortunately, was not that kind of person. And so I grew up thinking that maybe science does that to people. And so I hated science. and practically I had examples that were very close. My dad, it was just the lab, work, home. Any social activity would not fall out, not be beyond outdooring, wedding and funeral. Those only times where we connected. There was no time for any other thing. And he's always on the move, always out there. We saw very little of him. And so I didn't have that connection with him, much less follow what he was doing, even though he laid, he dropped hints that he wanted me to pursue the sciences. So I started finding out, what was it that I was passionate about, therefore. I had seen a lot of things on movies. And so when I got the chance to act, every year we do Easter, we do some Easter plays, Christmas plays. I found myself being interested in the roles to exhibit what I'd seen on movies. And then people were like, wow, have you been acting all your life? I'm like, well, no big deal. I'm just repeating what I see, But people kept telling me that, oh, man, you have something in there, pursue it. And so for a long time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I knew that whenever I took up a role and I played it well, I found this fulfillment and excitement, and I thought that, hey, why not take a go at this, especially when people who were in the system, who had made impact in that area, were also commending me and saying that, look, pursue this as a career. And I listened to them and I followed it, and fast forward, here I am. So what excites you, what you're passionate about, because it is out of that you also make an income. Because if you're good at that and you're unique at that, people will pay for you to continue exhibiting that. And so that was one of the ways in which and one of the ways that you probably may need to explore.
Hello. I could have directed this question to any of you four, but I choose Dr. Letitia mainly because of I like the way you expressed your passion for science and maths during your time in school. So my question is, during your journey to achieve your passion or your goals, were there times where you felt like giving up on your passion? If yes, what are some of the things you did to help you keep moving on? And if no, what are some of the things that you did that made you stay focused on that passion?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's very, very interesting. I have really, you are not just professional, personal, and so the way you went, I'll probably go professional. There is no time that if you are passionate about something, it's near impossible to walk away. That is it. If you're really passionate about something. Because if you walk away, then what next? What are you going to do? So you look at the obstacles, then you get people to help you overcome the obstacles. Because you see, the higher the price or the higher the obstacle, the bigger the reward. So there's really, I can't remember the obstacles. Yes, I have had many, but I can't remember it. It will put you down for a while, but you have to strategize and come back. And I take a lot even from the military. You know, they fight, but then they retreat and regroup and fight again. You get it. And that is how it is if you are passionate about what you do. You will surely face obstacles. There will always be obstacles because people will not see what you see. You have, your passion is ignited, but it's not everybody's passion. So you have the biggest role to play. And if it is your passion, you will find ways, like water. Water will always find a way. If you put an obstacle in its way, it will not stay there because you have put an obstacle. There's a lot you learn from nature. I do a lot. Learn from nature and you will always excel. Put a building in waterway. It will find its way because it has to go. And that is what you have inside, if it is your passion. The passion of water is to flow. The passion of an eagle is to fly. Whether there's a storm or not, the eagle will fly. Whether there's a block or not, water will go. Pregnancy, when it's 9 months and the baby has to come, it will come. That is passion. You know. So passion is difficult to block. That is why it is important that in this terrain where it's so difficult, you have to find your passion. And you have to do a lot of introspection. You have to ask your creator what you are on this earth to fulfill. Because everybody is here for a purpose. You have to find your purpose and not follow other people's purposes. So that's, I hope I've answered your question. It's not easy, but it is not impossible.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Amegavi Susu, aspiring for a student leader, former associate president for Christian Service University in Kumasi. Let me make this brief remark. Anything that has a Christ component in it thrives. And that is indeed what we are witnessing here, coming from a Christian institution myself, and experiencing what is happening here. I mean, it gives an indication that one principle we must all adhere to is that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life, and that service to humanity is the best work of life. The third thing is what? Economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprises. These three values are hinged on the statement they all give. I may not have the time to explain because of the time constraints. I'm happy to be here. I've had a connection with Christian Heritage for 3 years now through the successive SRC administrations. I mean, the last one being the leading now. But what I want to ask is that all of you have spoken brilliantly about mentorship. Have you, growing up, have you had mentors yourselves? And have they influenced your lives in any way, if we may know? Thank you very much.
I'd love to hear from you, Dr. Asari.
I didn't hear the question. Myself?
Yes.
You know, we Christians, we call them fathers. We call them fathers. And we have a lot of them. Yes, definitely. Definitely. You know, I am not a full-time pastor. I still work. I publish a magazine. I do books. And I do conferences. I attend conferences, church services, and church programs. And most of my mentors, they are They are pastors. So, like I said earlier, your mentor can be a pastor, but you have to be very careful. These days, I'm not talking about counselors, so pastors that will say come for counseling and all those things. Those are not the type of pastors we're talking about. They are overheard a pastor saying that he is an evangelist, and overheard him saying that he will never allow her daughter to go to any deliverance church because he doesn't believe in those pastors who do deliverance. So if you want a minister of God to mentor you, you have to be very careful. These days, we have all manner of pastors. So you can decide to go to a man of God to mentor you. Don't think there's anything wrong with that. That is even more useful than sometimes going to some of these motivational guys. Most of these guys who mentor are not Christians. They are not Christians. Somebody can give a lecture or a presentation for 2 hours and you will not hear anything about the help of God or anything about God. And I think it's very dangerous. Somebody came for an interview in my office. After the interview, he brought a CV. I read through the whole CV and I didn't see any connection with God. I said, you don't go to church? Don't you relate? There's nothing about God. And throughout the interview time, maybe mistakenly saying that by the help of God or if God permits or all those stuff, he didn't say anything. And I marveled because, he didn't tell me the churches he has attended or the church he attends. He did, And if your foundation is not God, I'm afraid you make a lot of mistakes on your journey up. So you can have some ministers of God to mentor you. They can also do that.
Awesome. I think we've heard so much from our panelists. Can we give them a round of applause, guys? We've learned so much. But it would be great as they've been mentoring us and teaching us today that it would be good to have someone that you look up to for mentorship. I think, yes, Dr. Letitia,
yes.
throw light on that.
You spoke about, you asked the question whether we've had mentors. Yes. And I actually categorize in 3. Fundamental principles, professional, and then adaptability. The fundamental principles is about honesty, integrity, and all that. Yeah. That is home and the church. That is so important. That is home and the church. Then, and of course, so your parents, your mother, they're supposed to be the first mentors. And so if you don't have bad parenting, then you're a bit of a challenge. Then the second is professional. Just like you want to be a doctor, you want to be whoever, you need that. And the third is technology, and that's my children. So they mentor me in the use of IT. So mentorship it's not you can't have one person mentoring you across. You should have mentors for different sectors of your life. That's what I wanted to
Awesome. Please can we give them a round of applause again? Louder this time around because we've learned so much from them. And so the project lead for USAG would want to give us a proposition because most of you are wanting to be mentored by these amazing people that we've seen today and have interactions with. So without much ado, please, Kelvin, can you come in and let us know the package you want to give for us? Or can we give Kelvin a clap?
All right. So I think the first thing is Dr. Tibu will present some books to the school to be kept in the library. So please, the books.
also join Prof here. Pachua. Teresa. Okay, I think Teresa is busy doing something. We need one more student to join Prof. join Prof in receiving the books on behalf of this.
Well, I present this to the school on behalf of the organizers and the leader. Normally we say in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you very much. I've received it on behalf of management, the president, provost, and all the big people who matter in heritage. This is a surprise. We're not expecting this, and we are most grateful. I'll let them know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So the next batch we presented to the SRC president. So she will share it between herself and some of the leaders, maybe not all.
This way. Well, we present this to you and your colleagues in the name of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Awesome. I think Dr. Letitia too will do same to management. So we'll have Dr. Letitia. Yes. So when you go to the library, if you don't get a book today, if you go to the library, you will still get some to read there, okay? Okay.
Okay, so we also present this to the management and then probably to the library also. So thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you once again. And as you've done this, we also channel. All of you are very important people in the society, and we're looking for more students. So you've given us sets of books to be put in the library, and I challenge you to bring 30 students each to come and read from our library. Our library is very special. I think we'll take you there to the nursing skills lab, the library, and I think the midwifery one too is ready. We'll take you there and tell people. If time will not allow, we have video clips of those things. We forward them to you. But the thing is, we want you to be our disciples. Bring us, especially you dealing with the youth. And thank you very much. God bless you.
Put your hands together for Prof. Okay, so the last thing that we'll do, so this must be an ongoing activity, right? You may not get all the information or the experience needed just from this section, right? So there will be ongoing activities. So we want to know those who are interested in taking these conversations further, because the difficulty is sometimes people want guidance and direction. In my personal life, I know many other people. You can pinpoint one person, or at a point you encountered someone that turned the course of your life. These are very, very important engagements, right? So if you are interested in having these conversations, we may be having some Zoom meetings. We may be pairing you with some of the people in the book and some of the people we are bringing to you. So if you are interested in continuing on this journey, please, we want to know. This is the last thing we are doing, then we close. We take some pictures and then we close. So if you are interested, please stand on your feet. If you are interested, please stand on your feet. All right, that's amazing. Put your hands together for them. These are some few things that, oh no, don't sit, please, sir. Okay. These are some few things that you should take notice of. One, you have to embrace this opportunity with an open mind and heart, right? Because some of these people, not some, all these people that we are bringing to you are very busy people. And so if you have opportunities to meet some people will go because they are going to ask for school fees. They are going to, but you see, that's not the essence of mentorship. Sometimes there are needs, there are various stuff, but when you get into the circles of some of these people, ask the most relevant things that will be more useful to your tomorrow than your today, right? Let's take notice of that. The second one is being honest and authentic. Be honest and be authentic anytime you are dealing with these people. 3, take ownership and learn. Take ownership. That's one thing the youth today we don't do. We blame people for the mistakes, but make sure you take ownership of every decision you are making. It is your life. Please take notice of that. 4, be proactive and give feedback. If you have an opportunity, for instance, to speak to Doug, to speak to Mr. Ajetianan, and they give you a gentleman friend, let me bring in this, a friend of mine who had a mentor he wanted to get in touch with so that the guy could mentor him. He spoke to the man gave him one assignment and told him to get back to him after 12 months. If he's able to do what he's told him, he will accept to mentor him. So some mentors can stretch you, and it is important because if you want to go far, you should learn some of these things. So be proactive and seek feedback, give feedbacks. The next one, embrace challenges and learn from failures. Embrace challenges, right? If you meet some of these people, certainly there are going to be some challenges you are going to go through. You could say that, oh, I called this person, the person didn't pick up. Of course, the person will not pick your call always. But please be careful to embrace challenges and learn as well from these failures. And be accountable. Celebrate the success of yourselves. Celebrate your successes. And then also paying it forward, because this is very important. Any information you receive, do very well to also pay it forward. Help someone with it. Together we will all grow. Together we will all expand. So please take notice of these things as we continue this journey. There are other youth that are coming into these things. So please, as we continue these journeys, you are going to have a lot of networks. You are going to learn from a lot of people. You will learn from your peers. It is very crucial. So make sure you take good advantage of this opportunity. So if you have accepted to be part of this is your sole decision. Nobody is persuading you to do it. If you have accepted, once we close, we'll be outside. We'll talk to you. We'll give you the further arrangement, and then we'll take it from here. And I believe that in some years to come, you will look back and you thank God for this day. If you are glad, put your hands together.
Yes, so you can take your seat. Yeah. We're going to take the vote of thanks from Jennifer. Is Jennifer here? Okay. Calvin, I think Jennifer is not around. Okay, so you can do the vote of thanks also. Please.
Good afternoon. So thank you. We are here today to acknowledge the incredible success of the National Youth Mentorship Initiative, a visionary program organized by the Students Representative Council, the SRC, and the University Students Association of Ghana. We would want to express our profound gratitude to our mentors, whose insight, counsel, and encouragement have been crucial to our development. Our mentees, whose will to succeed and enthusiasm to learn have been genuinely motivating. The SRC and USAC teams, whose unwavering commitment and hard work have made this program a huge success. Our university faculty and administration, who gave us the permission to use the auditorium and supported us throughout this journey. I will not forget to mention our Professor Ebenezer Ayensu. Thank you. Can clap for him at this point. and our partners, Kendawi Publishing Limited, HL Consulting Group, who have believed in and supported us in this initiative and have helped to empower our nation's future leaders. This program has been a transformative experience, fostering growth, learning, and meaningful connections. We have been inspired, motivated, and empowered to reach our full potential. We are grateful to everyone who has contributed to this incredible adventure. May the knowledge we've gained, the relationships we've formed, and the experiences we've had never stop pushing us to do more. Thank you.
A congenial environment for studying from the noise.
Thank you very much. You guys give yourselves a round of applause. You've been able to stay throughout the whole program, and we appreciate you guys so much. And to our panelists as well, let's give them a round of applause for the thing. Thank you so much for impacting in us today. So this brings us to the end of today's event, and we want to say that thank you so much for participating. I know that you guys have learned something great, and you're going to be great leaders one day. So can we please be on our feet whilst we take the closing prayer? And after that, the photo sessions will go on. The executives of the SRC and the users will take their first pictures with the panelists. Then after that, the students, you can join them, also take the photo. Without much ado, I would like
The ground floor is the first point of call where
please give us the closing prayer.
This house is the reference desk where all inquiries are handled by professional and welcome library staff.
The floor is stocked with rich collection.
We are very grateful, Most High God, for our life being with us.
It provides a
thank you
congenial environment for studying
for
from the noise on campus.
Resources and staff here are so welcoming. Each student has a locker when they use the facility for security purposes. Lest I forget, this building hosts the best internet connectivity on campus.
Studying in the library has never seemed to be this relaxing and fun. With the creation of social learning common space, group learning just got more interested. It provides the right environment for collaboration while fostering community.
With a variety of furnishing and aesthetics, this space helps contribute to establishing a conducive atmosphere for focused academic endeavors.
Our patrons are assured of their security and that of their belonging with our 24-hour security surveillance.
This floor has an ultra-modern electronic section that features 20 desktop computers for library patrons. Additionally, it houses a rich collection of business, nursing, and information technology.
For convenience, there are washrooms on this floor, as with all the other floors for our patrons, allowing them to be focused at all times.
The bonus to this floor is a seminar room, which has been set for video conference facilities for training workshops and other collaborative activities. Now you have to be extra quiet here. Just kidding. This floor is specifically designed for graduate students and faculty. They also need a meantime for research and collaboration.
I welcome you to our state-of-the-art library. Experience a welcoming atmosphere and a vast array of resources at your disposal to help you excel. Your journey to success begins here.